Hello, I'm John, the executive producer here at Final Show Films. I got a few notes for you before the show. First, I want to thank you all for watching. We couldn't do what we do or the amount of things that we do without the support of you, the viewer. If you want to support us financially, which we always appreciate, you can go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms, where you can donate as little as $1 a month to help us continue this and all the things that we do. I want to give a special shout out to our $25 supporters, Antitonic, Waterflame, and Samantha Bates. Second, I want to let you all know that we here at Final Show Films are planning a little get-together up at Gen Con this year. That's August 2nd through 5th up at Indianapolis. We're going to be up there just sort of hanging out, enjoying the con, spending time together, and if any of you guys want to come up and say hi, please feel free. We don't bite unless you want us to. And if you enjoy whatever it is you're about to watch or listen to, be sure to check out our website at finalshowfilms.com, where you can find links to all of our other content, both podcast and video. And be sure to follow me at John A. Bates on Twitter for more updates on all of the content we're creating in the future. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy.
And we are live.
Uh-oh.
Welcome everyone back to Storm.
Am I on camera? Because I think that might be.
You are indeed on camera.
Okay. Am I being cut off like right here?
It's actually a little bit further to your right. Right there.
Okay. So I need.
So welcome back to Storm, Earth, and Fire, our Warcraft RPG Horde campaign.
Bam.
I am William, and I am the Dungeon Master for this campaign, and with me on my left is John.
I'm John, and I'm playing Garrick, Cloud Speaker of the Horde, an orc shaman.
And on the middle left?
I'm Holly, and I am playing Shiana.
Flamecarver.
What?
Flamecarver.
Your last name.
Oh yes, Flamecarver. Thank you. I did write it down. Shiana Flamecarver, and she is an orc rogue.
And on the far left?
Hi, I'm Units, and I'm playing a troll.
Did you forget your name already?
He doesn't care.
Jean Gatal Wildwalker.
Jinga.
Wow, man.
Jean Gatal Wildwalker.
There you go. On my immediate right?
That would be me. I am playing a little goblin tinker named Jaffarshan Starship. Call me Josh.
And on my middle right?
I'm Zach, and I'm playing Leaf Ironmender, half-orc priest.
And on my far right?
Half human.
I'm Rudy. I'm playing Brick Earth Whisperer, Rune Master Torn.
Alright.
Yes, I am half-human. I am both half-human and half-orc.
Ooh. Rather than those half Draenei, half
What's your
orcs.
other half?
I mean, if I'm half-orc and half-human, I would hope I don't have another half.
You might.
You have a third half somewhere?
It could be.
No, you have 4 halves.
You're one and a half.
I mean, unless I have an identical twin that got decapitated at some point.
You have 4
And
halves,
he's
by which we
playing
mean 4 quarters.
Alright, so when last we left our group of newly minted adults
And goblin.
and a goblin,
Who is most certainly, definitely not an adult, or at least not acting like it.
No, not yet.
the group of them had just succeeded their Ombrigor, their passage of their rite of passage into adulthood, and are now embarking on their first task to go and serve the Horde. At which point they were headed to the outpost of Razor Hill to go and serve under the warlord Garthok, who runs the outpost there. On their way, they encountered a goblin being carried off by harpies.
We killed 2 of them on the way.
Did very quickly.
There were some silly rolls.
There were. And rescuing the goblin from the harpies, the goblin decided he didn't have too much better to do, so he might as well follow around this group of people who was heading to Razor Hill.
I'm not on my own anymore.
Yeah, it's
Too
like
dangerous.
being on your own gets you kidnapped by harpies.
Yeah.
So you know.
I mean,
Thought
I
that
wasn't
was
being that flirtatious either.
Thought that was a blind date.
Well, you know.
So you know the group have stopped to rest for the evening because it is dark, and so they've stopped to take their rest at the halfway point between the Valley of Trials and Razor Hill, and it'll be another day of travel before they actually make it to Razor Hill. So, do any of you have anything to do over the course of the evening? Do you have any conversation you want to have? Anything you want to do before you sit down for rest?
So, Josh,
Yes.
what is your business here in Kalimdor?
really have much business right now. Just kind of wandering about, looking for things to do.
Was there any particular location you were looking to go to?
Well, not up there, as I say, pointing toward the cliff face.
Yes. I imagine few people would willingly go to a harpy's nest, except to set it on fire as we did.
Yes. Well, thanks for coming by, guys.
Simply could not let someone suffer at the hands of those beasts.
Oh.
At least I couldn't. I don't know about the rest of them.
Yeah, well, yeah, some of them, yeah.
I could have lived.
Well,
Now.
we are heading on our heading to fulfill our tasks for the Horde at Razor Hill. You're more than welcome to join us. But surely you will find something worthwhile there.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll stick around for a while. I'll try not to be too much underfoot. He said, I'm looking up at everybody. This is terrible.
I'm sure
You're
we'll find.
way up
Yes,
at everybody.
I know.
I'm sure we'll find a place for you on our wolves. Let's see, patting the dire wolf next to me.
Oh, yeah, there's wolves, too.
The Kodo also has plenty of room.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he's gonna be like our pet.
Ally.
Okay.
I'm trying to learn how to use this crossbow.
Load it and then aim and fire.
I did that. Well, I tried it 3 times.
Perhaps the aiming part is where the difficulty lies.
Well, yeah, you know.
Aim, then shoot.
Aim then shoot, not shoot then aim. It's a vital lesson.
Maybe I can make something that'll do that for me.
Possibly.
Perhaps. Well then, while we are south of Razor Hill, this is the Barrens? No,
This is
not the
Duratar.
Barrens. This is Duratar. While we are south of Razor Hill and Duratar, it's somewhat safe. We should likely still keep a watch through the night. Who would like the first watch?
I'll go first.
Very well.
I'll take second.
I'll go after that.
I will take the morning then. Rest well. I go to sleep.
Alright, so Shiona is on first watch. You know what? Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Spot or listen?
Spot. Whichever's higher. Whatever.
I believe its spot is higher for me.
Listen's higher for me. Significantly.
15.
Alright.
Yeah. Awesome. You automatically get out of watch because you can't vocalize that something is the matter.
I can let you know that something's wrong.
Oh, yeah, right.
It's called shaking you away from the spear.
No, that's just shaking the earth.
And potentially angry grunting.
It's overall it's quiet. As you sit and rest, and just keep an eye out on the surroundings, you eventually do, though, as you're waiting and just watching, you find your mind drifting back to the words the fire elemental had for you. The quite aggressive and angry words. And something about it stands a little odd to you. Something that it seemed to... something about its words was a little strange. Go ahead and roll me a... Roll me a wisdom check, just a straight ability check with your spirit, sorry.
This will be fun. 10.
10. It's really hard to say, but something about the
No one cares.
the elemental's words for you, how much it knew about you with seemingly almost no interaction, seems strange, and you're not certain what to make of it. And that's a puzzle that leaves you for most of your watch, although nothing really seems to stand out. As you wake up, Leaf for second watch.
To wake him up, she's gonna go over and kick him in the side. Not too hard, but
So you're not aiming to break my ribs.
she could have poked you with her claws.
I mean,
Her
yeah.
claws.
She doesn't
Claw.
have the other hand.
Claw.
So their claws of attack.
There's multiple claws
There's
on
multiple
one.
claws.
One hand.
On one claw.
Yes.
Yes. She could have poked him with that.
Claw.
I've not.
Boom.
Put foot on ribs, shake.
So you get up
Yep,
and take your
I get
second
up
watch.
for second
Go
watch.
ahead and roll me a spot or listen check, whichever is better.
Can do.
Ooh, I'm glad I'm not.
I just pre-rolled mine.
12.
12. It's quiet, but that's a little odd, because most nights in Duratar, the noises that you expect to hear are the sounds of predators. And because most of them are active mostly at night, because at the sun the heat is very driving, and a lot of prey would burrow beneath the earth during the day, so a lot of predators are thusly active at night because their prey is more active at night. But it's oddly quiet tonight, and you're not exactly certain what to make of that or why it would be particularly quiet, but nothing seems to approach your camp over the course of the evening, whether or not that is a significant factor. But other than the awkward stillness of the middle of the night, you do pass relatively uneventfully to the third watch, which is both Brick and Garrick.
We're doing 4 watches.
You're doing 4 watches?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's on the third and
So
fourth.
Brick would be next then.
We have the numbers to do 4 watches, so.
I'll go ahead and wake him up for it. Not by kicking him, no.
Nudge him with the staff.
Someone doesn't like the way I wake him up.
Colleen, push chat.
Yeah, it's John Locke It's like, how fast is this group in a Warcraft RPG? What utterly broken thing is units doing? Also, how fast are the vehicles? I'm like, I determine the speed this time.
1, we have wolves, so 60 feet, and Dakota beast.
Until he
2,
gets some more money.
broken, not mechanically broken yet.
We're still level 1,
Still
so
trying.
Still level 1.
He's got a ways to go before he actually breaks anything.
we'll get there.
That's what you think.
Oh, I can deal with regeneration. I just gotta hit you harder.
Oh, yeah, no, regeneration's not broken.
So you, Brick, go ahead and make me a spot or listen check, whichever's higher.
16.
16. Yeah, and again, this is you're in the deep end of the night, and again, it's strange that everything is so quiet. As a matter of fact, you don't even quite hear the lapping of the shore of the waves upon the shore, which is odd, because the one thing that isn't affected by most mortal concerns is the water.
Yeah.
And normally you can hear the shore even from this distance, but the water is quiet. You can't hear the waves. You can't hear it's almost like the entire ocean has gone still, and it's strange, but nothing comes toward you specifically, so it's really hard to say. So it's unusual but uneventful, and your watch passes mostly clean, and you eventually reach the point at which you would need to awaken Garrick for his watch.
And I go to wake him up.
Thank you, Brick.
He likes it when you kick him in the head.
You're asleep.
This is
She's
out
sleep
of,
talking.
this is out.
21 or 22 on my listen check.
Okay. Again, you're caught not just by the fact that the ocean is still, which is strange. The ocean is almost never still in Duratar. But also the fact that the wind is dead. There's no wind. And Duratar is a coastal region. There's normally plenty of wind unless you're in the Valley of Trials, where it's a box canyon that closes it out. And So everything is unnaturally still this morning.
I would like to try to consult the spirits on this matter.
Go ahead, as Mr. Shaman. Go ahead.
Place my totem down, sit, cross my legs. What'd I roll?
Go ahead and roll me. I'm trying to think what skill.
Spirit?
Spirit contact is a skill for the spirit thing, and it's basically your spirit, whatever spirit contact levels plus your spirit modifier.
Is that? I don't think that's a skill that actually like is in the
No.
list of skills.
No.
There's no skill for it. It's just how the spirit contact classes.
Yeah, at your level in the class. I want to say roll me a spirit check.
20. Sorry, not 20. My spirit is 16. It's a +3 modifier. 15.
15. So 15. You're not quite. You open your mind to communication and you offer this question, and the voices and answers that you get back are all jumbled and chaotic, and they don't make sense, and there's no straight answer that you can interpret from the myriad of voices that speaks to you at once. And the one sense that you get is something impending, something coming. The opinions on how dangerous or how impactful or how powerful the something is coming is difficult, if not impossible, to determine, but there is a sense that something is coming.
I'm going to spend my watch packing up as much of our camp as I can. Like, without pulling, like, the bedrolls off from other people, just getting everything ready to go so that all they really have to do is get their shit and go. Because something's coming and we're out in the open.
Is winter coming?
I don't think so, no.
No, especially considering it's the height of summer.
If winter was coming, we'd be really fucked,
It is
because...
coming, but not today.
Not in the next...
Not for another few months.
Not in the next a few hours.
Yeah, wrong.
There'd have to be some sort of like cataclysm for that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Well,
Something at the
don't-
very
don't
least
count that out.
catastrophic.
One might say cataclysmic.
Yes.
Yeah. Wrong campaign. Seasons don't randomly shift in this one.
Not quite.
Um,
So yeah, the morning comes and you wake everyone up.
everyone.
I get up and I try and notice if she's laying on her left side. And if she gets propped up with it without her arm being there, she just kind of...
Okay, roll me a spot check.
Well, I mean, you know.
Making me think about this.
Okay, I rolled
It's
a 1
easier to
and
stab
a
you
negative
back.
1 for spot checks.
What side are you actually laying on?
She's actually on her right side.
So you're laying on the
Yeah,
on your
yeah,
good arm?
she's
On your good
laying
arm?
on the right side.
laying
Yeah.
on your good arm. You think she's laying on her left side.
What did he roll?
He rolled
I
a
rolled
one.
a 1 and I get a negative 1 on my spot
So you rolled a
checks.
0.
Yeah.
My left side suddenly
I
goes
woke
turned
up and I
on.
didn't put my glasses on.
Everyone get ready. We should ride. The spirits are
Restless.
restless.
Okay.
Why you gotta jump on my thing, William?
Don't argue with the voice in the sky. It can kill you.
I have been
Always
making,
argue with the voice in the sky.
I have been
It
making
can kill you.
Warcraft. I have been making Warcraft unit references this entire time and
Yes.
jumped on it.
I'm gonna let you have all of them.
That's okay.
The spirits are restless. Something is coming.
Spirits are idiots.
I would take care in voicing that out loud.
Or silently.
Bolt of lightning strike. Because see, the thing about it, spirits have an impact on the physical world.
They do. I talk to them regularly.
And a sense of humor. Or at very least spite.
It's just like I would be careful voicing that out loud. Fuck them. I warned you.
Doesn't actually happen.
Still, mount up. We should ride. Brick, if you would take Josh with you
Oh, right.
Yeah.
on the
She's
Coda
forgetting about me.
There's plenty of room on here.
The Kodo Beast, because of how wolves and Kodo Beasts are laid out, they're lower to the ground than horses are typically, and so the wolf's head is like staring you in the chest because it's a dire wolf. It's massive. You're only about you're about right here, so it's like staring you right here. It's in your face.
It should be a little higher than me.
Like just barely, but it's still staring you in the face.
Okay.
It's here, you're here.
The ears are above you.
Yeah. The Kodo, however, is up here.
Yeah, that's okay. I can get up there somehow.
The Kodo's head is on head level with most humans.
That's what the Torrent is for.
Yeah. Just toss me up there.
Yeah,
Just ride the torrent at this point, seriously.
if you want. You won't mind.
I mean, there's 2 size category differences, so for most class purposes,
No, Torrent or
Could-
medium.
They are medium. They're on
Yeah.
the edge of large.
Yeah, but goblins are small.
Close.
Yeah.
I'm small.
You
Well,
you
no.
you can ride anything
That's one size larger.
That's one size larger than you.
oh, I thought it was 2.
You just have to get an exotic saddle built.
I don't have the money for an exotic.
We ride.
All right.
Let's
So
go.
you take off. It's still gonna be 8 hours ride basically from where you took off to Razor Hill. But you took off with the sun with the rise of the sun. So you'll be there shortly after noon basically.
Okay.
The troll isn't riding a raptor.
No, the troll has a wolf because that's what they had in the Valley of Trials.
They would have. If they had a Kodo Beast, they'd have a raptor.
They had a Kodo Beast because they knew they were going to need a Tauren. They were just like, trolls can also ride wolves. It's fine. But it's again, it's about 8 hours, and when you arrive at Razor Hill, the sun is just past its peak, so it is prime temperature right now. It is blazing hot. But your clothing is definitely designed to breathe in this weather and designed for the heat. So
Also, orcs don't sweat. We don't have sweat glands.
that's not true.
They glisten.
That is a lie.
We glisten with oil. We apply it.
We don't sweat, we glisten.
It's how we keep cool. We're like
I mean, if you've seen the Warcraft movie,
we're like
they
Russian.
glisten.
We're like
Yeah,
Russian.
they do.
We're like Russian oil wrestlers. We just apply the oil and we're good.
I don't know where that leaves me.
You say oil wrestler, and now I'm just imagining like a big burly Russian just rolling around with a giant barrel of oil.
I mean, they do that first and
In
then each
Texas?
other. No, it's like body lotion. It's like they just like sort of slather themselves in like.
I'm still imagining like black, like Texas oil.
like Texan, like black oil, like crude oil.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I was thinking like a giant barrel of salad dressing.
Yeah, no, I was with
Yeah.
you. I was thinking that.
But no,
It's baby oil. It's like
you arrive in Razor Hill, and Razor Hill is
silky
and
smooth.
Razor. Okay. Razor Hill is an outpost of about 3,000. And
Orc in the background.
and
drinking soup.
that is also including the farms on the outskirts, but it is mostly there's probably about 2,500 within the actual realm, within the immediate vicinity of the outpost and within the walls and just outside, and then probably spread among the farms the remainder with some room for error because 3,000 is a rough estimate. But Razor Hill itself is still relatively large. The outpost itself is ringed with large wooden palisades that are spiked on the top, giving it its appearance, which it gets its name from. As the outpost is set atop a massive hill, so that the watchtowers that are positioned around it have a good view of the outlying area.
Point of order, razors are
So are
sharp,
we
not
supposed to storm
pointed.
this thing or what?
No. This is a report to the garrison commander.
We're getting our draw.
Garthok.
Commander Garthok. And as
I'm
you
sure they will find something for you to do as well.
As you enter the palisades of Razor Hill, and you're given a nod by a number of guards, by a number of grunts who are standing guard around the walls. And as soon as you enter and find the stables at which you would be leaving your mounts, you are greeted by a somewhat middle to late older orc, wearing sort of dark violet garbs underneath leather armor with a sort of a almost like a miner's cap on, and just the torch that he was holding earlier that he recently put out in his left hand as he approaches the group of you. Ah, Thrall Hall, newcomers. You must be from the Valley of Trials.
Well, some of us are. Hi. I'm just tagging along.
We picked this one up on the way.
Well, a goblin's always useful around here if you're looking for work.
Sure. I'll try anything twice.
Well, I'm Orkney Soulscar, and I am part of the watch here at Razor Hill. I suspect if you're off in the Valley of Trials, you're here to report to Garthok then.
Indeed we are.
All right. He'll be inside the barracks if you need to speak with him. I'll see to your mounts. And he points, and the barracks is the single largest structure in. It's more. The barracks is sort of combination command room and housing for most military. So it is the single largest structure in Razor Hill, and it sort of stands at the center of this outpost near a number of other structures that are important, and it sort of stands out like a sore thumb, and it's covered in spikes in this giant red stone slab shingle roof that is marked with the symbols of the Horde hanging from several walls. You'll find Commander Garthok in the war room. He'll have tasks for you, or at least will tell you where to start.
I will nod and start walking that way.
I'm a follower. I follow.
Yeah.
I'm just humming a little tune that I don't know where I got the tune from, but it's like the Sweet Hitchhiker.
So you make your way into the barracks, and it's.
I'm not tying my arm behind my back for the entire session.
It's a bit of a navigation, but it's laid out very simply, so it's easy to find. The centermost room in the chamber is likely the war room, so you pass through a few circular hallways that lead to different rooms along the sides that mostly contain armories and cots for soldiers, different stock rooms, and you enter the central room, which is indeed the war chamber, and you find an orc who's just wearing very short leather breeches that end like right above the knee, and a leather harness strap. Like a set of leather straps is a harness that designed, again, not wearing too much to help with the heat, but he does have sort of the heavy metal pauldrons that sort of denote military status, the sort of red spiked pauldrons that denote a member of the military.
So wait, the bigger your pauldrons, the higher your rank?
No, it just denotes that you are military.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, because that means that like everyone in Warcraft is at least like 2-star general.
No,
Not all the pauldrons are that big. There are some that are quite small.
And those are peasants.
Small ones still count too.
Most of the cloth pauldrons are actually pretty small.
There's a couple of metal. There's a big plate pauldron. You've seen my set.
Yeah,
the blue ones
that are not very big. Yeah.
There's like little.
But yeah, the iconic grunt pauldrons that are sort of the two-tier raised shoulder and the one smaller one that are covered in spikes is sort of the denotation of Horde military. And there's a number of different styles on it, but that is sort of this man is acting in the military right now, sort of.
You
armor
are
piece.
in the Horde. Capital H.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And he looks up at the group of you as you approach. He's looking out from what looks to be a map of the region, and he's just kind of stroking this long brown beard that stretches down to about chest level, and his hair is kind of receding in the top, and he's got it pulled back into a top knot. He's You must be my newcomers from the Valley of Trials.
Indeed we are.
My name is Garthok, and I will be your overseer here while you serve. Tell me, what are your names? What should I call you?
Garrick Cloudspeaker.
I am Leaf Ironmender.
Brick Earth Whisperer.
Shiana.
Flame Carver.
Flame Carver. Thank you. Flame something.
He looks at the troll kind of expectantly.
This is Jean Athol, Wild Walker. He
Jean.
does not speak well.
Ah,
Or at all.
good.
Just call me Josh.
Ah, and our goblin friend. Will you be assisting this group as well?
Certainly.
Very well.
Might be fun.
Well, there are a number of tasks to be done by anyone who is willing, but for the moment, you should all familiarize yourself with Razor Hill. Take the time to meet significant individuals. You'll want to meet our enchanter and the alchemist that works with him. You'll want to meet the innkeeper. You'll want to meet the blacksmith and the stable master. You'll want to get to know the village, get to know the outpost before you start working
Can
for
you repeat
it.
that? Who do we want to meet?
Everyone.
Everybody.
The ones that he just listed were the enchanter and the alchemist that works with him, the innkeeper, the blacksmith, and the stable master. And he's kind of gave a general note of anyone else of import. So get to know the outpost.
Meet the people.
It's meet and greet day.
Yeah, Shiana's not good at that.
Well, good luck.
Come with me.
Then
I mean,
just tag
Come
along
with me.
someone.
I'll introduce you.
She'll feed you to something.
But I'll start collecting a list of tasks while you're out introducing yourself and being introduced to the important people that you'll be working alongside. This is the Horde. We are a family. We are here to work as one. Acting independently or completely unaware of those you are serving to protect defeats the purpose.
I stand up straight and look.
Agreed.
Even our allies are part of the family. He said, looking down at the goblin.
Well then, where would you suggest we begin?
Well, I would definitely recommend beginning with the enchanter. He is the one who has had most need of aid recently.
We'll stop there. Where would we find him?
You'll find Grimlock, he is most often within his tent. It is the large purple affair just off of the main square. It's almost directly across from the barracks, actually.
That will be our first destination then, unless others have designs otherwise.
All right, we get to do the intro fetch quests
Alright.
that lead in conclude the tutorial mission.
Or you get to interact with the world for once, as opposed to last campaign.
No,
Oh, yeah.
Yes!
that's fair.
Intro fetch quest.
That's how we interact with the world.
I only interact with the world by method of quests.
Look, if there's not an exclamation point over their head, there's no reason to talk to them.
If you don't have anything useful to say, why would I talk to you?
No, don't you know how this works? You're supposed to talk to absolutely everybody because sometimes, there's...
You hold the mouse over them and see if they pop up as a name or as Nashkel peasant.
Wait, they have to be an interactable object. If they're just a world object, then you just ignore them.
Everyone is important. Even simple cabbage merchants.
Like, you go to one guy, you try to talk to him, and there's no reaction because he has no name or no dialogue. He's like, oh, okay, well, I guess we don't deal with you.
All right, so if you have nothing else to do, you walk out of the barracks, and immediately across there's sort of this circular thoroughfare that sort of merges all the roads of Razor Hill, and there's a signpost in the center of it that denotes directions to the nearest villages and outposts from Razor Hill. But directly across this squared circle, this circular courtyard.
I mean, it's technically the town square. It's just a circle.
It's just a circle.
It's the town circle.
The town ovoid.
Directly across
the town amoeba.
there is there's a a large purple tent that is like not quite circus tent levels, but is definitely like 10 to 15 feet. Like this is a living tent, not a I'm staying in the woods for a night tent. This is where I live tent.
I see.
Walking over that one.
Is there like a menagerie or a what you call it? A place where you keep animals for the purposes of war.
That'd be a stable.
Stable.
The thing we came to first.
Well, I wasn't sure if there was like a separate, like where they train it, not riding beasts, where they do training.
Well, there is a war stable that is directly connected to the barracks, which is where the war wolves are kept and most of the war kodos. Whereas the inn there's the stable attached to the inn and the stable attached to the barracks.
Yeah.
And the stable attached to the barracks is more for the military mounts.
Weak, docile riding things are not of interest to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
To the enchanter's tent.
All right.
Yep.
You cross the square.
The circle.
And you enter this large purple tent, and immediately it cools down almost immediately. Like there is no connection between the inside of this tent and the temperature outside. It is nice and cool.
Do we suddenly start steaming?
And dry. It is cool and dry, and you step in, and it is low lit, mostly with a sort of greenish light. And as you look around, you see signs of electrical lighting, which is not super common, but not unheard of. And it's sort of these green pulsing bulbs that are just bzz, like faintly whirring. As you step in and you look around, there's a table. There's like a bench on the a store counter basically on the left hand side, and there's an extra room back there that did not appear on the outside of the tent. And as you step inside and you look around at the racks and shelves that are filled with bottles and vials of like dust and pieces of animals and small gems and variety of scroll cases, there's a sound of magic, that sort of ephemeral humming noise of something magical going on. Yes. In one of those back rooms, and as the flap opens, it stops for a minute. All right, hold on. And a moment later, you see at first glance, you say a dwarf steps out, which is odd because dwarves are part of the Alliance. Second glance tells you an undead dwarf steps out. As you see the pale, sallow skin of this short figure with the glowing yellow eyes that mark the Forsaken, and his beard is, while still intact, is sort of gone from that bright, vibrant orange that a lot of dwarves have to more of a straw coloration, as it's sort of darkened with age and the small amount of decay. It's still attached to his face, but it seems almost like, you know how hay goes bad and how it kind of darkens and turns a little bit odd? Same kind of thing with his beard. And his head is completely bald. There's nothing up top aside from dead skin.
Finally, somebody my size.
Kind of. He's a little taller than you.
Yeah, a little taller.
And he's also about 7 of you wide, I imagine.
Yeah, it's okay.
He's 4 foot tall, but also 4 foot wide.
Yes.
He's square. But
Dwarves fit into perfect squares.
he steps out from behind. Ah! You must be newcomers. What can I do for you?
We are here to introduce ourselves to the town. You would be the enchanter.
Aye, that's me, Grimlark Rotspine, at your service. It's good to see a few friendly faces come through every now and then.
I'll do the introductions.
You introduce all of you.
Is there? We are currently. Our current assignment is to meet the town, but Is there anything in addition you might require aid from us on?
Well, Sita's been out collecting ingredients for her potions. Sorry, Sita's the alchemist who works with me, Sita Keever. She is, well, a bit headstrong to say the least, and tends to get herself in over her head with some of the ingredients she needs to retrieve. And so, if you find yourself heading out west into Duratar, keep an eye out for her. You can't miss her. She's the Forsaken with a massive backpack full of supplies, typically. Human Forsaken, I should say. I know I don't exactly make the best first impression of being easy to spot.
What was her name? Sita?
Sita Keever.
Sita Keever.
Ceta space Keever.
Okay. Just Forsaken human.
Yeah.
What was the dwarf's name again?
Grimlark Rotspine.
Grimlark. Rot spine.
That's fine. Okay.
His spine rotted.
Or at the very least, everything around it.
Well, no, that's why he's a dwarf. He was a human, but the upper 2 feet of spine went away. Very well. We'll keep an eye out for Sita if we head out that way.
Alright. And, of course, if you need anything magical, if you need spells and enchantments, I'm the man that you're going to want to see. I'm sort of the primary source of magical power for Razor Hill, if you're looking for the arcane.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
We actually don't have any arcane practitioners.
Yeah, no.
Technically.
Rune Master is arcane.
Technically. Well, we'll keep that in mind. Thank you for your time.
It's good to meet the lot of you. I'll get back to my work now if you don't mind.
Onwards to more quests.
Onwards to more people. I guess go meet the blacksmith next.
Anyone important?
Man, I'm massively underselling the incredible value of having that pop-up tab that keeps track of all your side quests is.
Call it a journal. Head to the blacksmith.
Yep. And as you approach, the blacksmith is open air because, again, it's very hot, and adding more heat on top of that makes it even worse. So they definitely opened it up to the air so the heat can dissipate.
Question.
Yes.
Because I worked as a peon for a while, do I already know some of these people?
You might. Do you have knowledge local?
No. I do not.
Just roll me a general intellect check.
I do, however, have trade blacksmithing and carpentry, which is why I asked.
Yeah.
7.
7. Most of your work was in like the few times that you've been through Razor Hill, you didn't really speak too much. You were mostly there to do your job and get back to Orgrimmar, so you didn't really interact with a lot of people. So you're more familiar with the layout of the town than most people would be coming in for the first time, but you don't know most of the people either.
Oh yes, I built that wall. I don't know who lives behind it now, but I built that wall.
Yeah, sort of that sort of thing.
Go to the blacksmith, introduce ourselves again.
Yep. So and this.
I'm not going with them.
Where are you headed?
I'm that war stable where all the animals are, bro.
All right. So you while they're heading off to the blacksmith, you make your way around the back of the barracks to the war stables, and you see a number of wolves and raptors and kodos that are all mostly resting, and you can see there are stacks of armor that are laid out, like each individual mount's armor is laid out on a rack next to where it rests in the stable. And there's as you enter, there's just the first wolf that you approach just kind of offers you a warning growl, just sort of a "I'm sleeping, back off."
He growls back.
I'm going to broaden my shoulders and move up a bit, sort of signifying not in a I want to be alpha way, more of in a I am not.
I'm not afraid.
I'm not afraid of you. You're not my alpha. I'm not your alpha.
Mm.
We're equal. And it kind
I know there's an animal handling skill. Is it literally
of handle animal?
Roll me handle animal.
Handle animal. Or as my typo says, handle and a mackle.
That's a natural 20.
And you make yourself broader and stand taller and offer a growl back, and the wolf looks at you and doesn't continue to growl, but is giving you this look of, all right, yeah, I see you.
Yeah, we're working on this. I'm not like those stupid animal trainers. This is not an animal you train. This is a person that you interact with and make aware of. But if there are raptors here, I'm particularly intrigued by the raptors.
Yeah, there's a handful of raptors. There's not too many. You do notice that there is a
raptor.
There is a troll, blue skinned, with sort of like bright red hair that is just kind of swept back, tending to one of the raptors, giving it a slab of meat to eat as it works on getting the armor off of it. It looks like this might be the raptor's rider, who is just coming from probably a scouting mission.
It would be safe to presume that all raptors here are possessed by some individual
From your understanding, most of the war mounts here have a rider.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where would be the ones that are in training? Because I know, obviously, there's going to be younger raptors that they raise rather than catch from the wild.
That one you're not sure about because, one, in character you honestly don't know that much.
Because that's where I grew up, though.
Yeah, but out of character, most animals that are raised are not raised in Razor Hill.
Okay.
Razor Hill is an outpost. It's not like, this isn't a city.
Yeah.
This is a place where a handful of people live, some mostly tradesmen and farmers and craftsmen. But this isn't a city where like civilians whose job is being a civilian. There's not like the flower girl doesn't live in Razor Hill. She lives in Orgrimmar.
Yeah.
Everyone here mostly serves a practical purpose. And so
Children aren't practical.
It's like that military town, like military towns where it's, yeah, there's people who run the Walmart, there's people who run the grocery stores, but you're gonna have to drive an hour to go to a movie theater.
Yeah. And so the place where the place where animals would be trained would probably be either north to Orgrimmar or south to St. John Village.
Okay.
So definitely not in Razor Hill. Both of those are a 2-day ride. So
yeah. I'm going to just walk amongst the raptors and get a feel for if there's an alpha here, or if they're all, or if this is a sort of situation where they come in from so many different places. Like, are they stationed here and they've got an established sort of grouping, or is it there's so many in and out that there's...
roll me a sense motive.
Well, that's 21.
There's definitely a number of animals that are like only here temporarily as part of like moving military units, and so they definitely are like sort of outside of any hierarchy that might form. But there is a vague sort of the scouts that are stationed here in Razor Hill that stay here all the time. Among their mounts, there is one that seems to be the one that is in charge of the stables. The raptor that is in charge of the stables is this large black scaled raptor that has a small line of feathers like around the back of its head that sort of vaguely poke out, and you see like it's had a number of markings. I want to say painted because you can't really tattoo scales, but it's permanent. Like sort of permanently dyed in the markings of the horde that are like adorning it.
All right, this one I will approach and I will make the subordinate maneuver. Where you kind of go down, lift the head up to show that my throat's exposed. I understand that you are the stronger being here. Ingratiate myself to the pack.
Alright, roll me animal handling again.
Get eaten.
That's a 19 on the die.
Okay. Oh yeah, you prostrate. You prostrate yourself before the raptor, and it sort of leans down and gets a closer look at you, and takes a sniff and gets a smell of you, and understands who you are as you're sort of introducing yourself to it. And after a moment of understanding you and getting your scent, it just kind of leans back and sort of lifts its head, like sort of dismissing you.
Okay. I'm going to just kind of continue around, establishing a place among the pack of regular raptors that are here. And make myself known to the other beasts, but the raptors are the ones that I'm more establishing the place with.
While you're doing that, the rest of you make your way to the blacksmith, and you hear before you see the sound of hammer on anvil. The sound of metalwork being done. The ting ting. And as you approach, you see this large. Basically, there is almost like a gazebo. There are these series of wooden pillars or like wooden posts that hold up one of those like those red sort of metal slate roofs with like that keep the rain off of the equipment, and then there's a rise in the center of it that allows the smoke to escape out. And there's just a central forge right in the middle that is being stoked by one orc, while two more. One is working on a breastplate right now, another one's working on a longsword. There's a trio of orcs, one female and two males, that are currently handling the forge.
What's the not Loktar, the other
Thrall Hall or Thromcaw.
Which one means what?
Thrall Hall is basically it's sort of the Hail Caesar, but it's more directed about Thrall. It's sort of the it's sort of the war chief's blessing sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then Thromcaw is just sort of the hello, sort of the formal greeting.
What's that one?
Thromcaw.
Throm.
THROM''KA.
Apostrophe what?
KA. Thromcaw.
Thromcaw.
So, approaching Thrall Hall. I'll call out.
Throw home! One of the one working on the breastplate calls out, sort of as he's like hammering the shape out. The one working the bellows puts it down for a second and approaches. I haven't seen your lot here before. You must be newcomers.
Newly arrived from the Valley of Trials.
Fresh members of the Horde. Welcome.
Commander Garthok instructed us to introduce ourselves to the various members of Razor Hill. And I do the introductions again. And remark that there is a troll somewhere. It's all Wild Walker.
I'm Kran. This is Ugar, is our weaponsmith, she says, pointing at the one working on the sword. And Wark is our armorsmith. I handle everything in between. Horseshoes, fittings for wagons, and anything too large and heavy for these two, she says, giving a smirk.
Kran, Ugar, and...
Kren, Ugar, and Wark.
Ugar and Wark.
How do you pronounce that?
Wark. Wark.
Work, but weird.
Wark.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there anything in particular you require in the immediate sense?
More ore would always be useful. We get shipments every now and then, but it's never quite enough to make it through to the next shipment. We always end up having to scrounge what we can or send scouting parties out to mine some.
Mining isn't exactly my specialty. Do any of you... Brick?
I mean,
Brick mines.
I am more on the crafting side, carpenter and blacksmith myself.
If you got any decent gatherers, she says, looking at Brick, we could always use more ore. Iron, especially, but some tin would be appreciated.
Keep an eye out. Do you have any trade skills at all?
Actually, I was going to take one and then I forgot to.
I think you had leatherworking
I was going to do leather working.
and poison making, I think.
Right. Thank you. You remember better than I do. Where do I put trade skills?
At the bottom, just underneath.
Bottom
the-
skills. Yep. And well, we'll keep an eye out for the ore.
Yes, iron and tin. Copper is good too, but less useful than the other two.
I could use the copper.
I would inquire about any kind of usage of the different types of steel. If they are using tin, if they're familiar with the spring steel, and so are some of the little
Springwork.
little wind up things and.
Springwork's more my field, she says.
Yeah.
Between the other two,
Yeah.
so springwork is more of what I deal with. We've got some use for spring steel. It's actually the horde, the demolishers make a good amount of use out of it, keeping the arm basket. I'm the one who works on the siege engines. She says
Yeah.
between the
Okay.
pointing between the two of them.
All right.
The spring
sounds
baskets. It helps create tension for a better launch, and also helps relax impact when the basket comes back down to stop it from damaging the demolisher.
Yes.
We use spring steel a lot for our war machines.
Cool.
Good to know. Well then, if we find any ore in our duties, we will be sure to mark it off for you.
Well, good to meet all of you. We need to get back to work. And she heads back and takes a hand on the bellows again and starts making sure the fire's still hot.
Who else would you? The innkeeper. Innkeeper.
There was one more I forgot to write down.
Stable master.
Stable master,
Yeah.
thank you.
Head over to the inn to meet the innkeeper and stable master, I guess then.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Alright. So you head over to the inn and you step inside. The inn is one large room. Like, it's just one giant common area, and there are sort of like rents, like holes dug out of the wall for beds. And so it's sort of this very common bedding area where it's just like you have. You ever seen like imagine like the Tokyo, like the capsule hotels.
Oh.
If the capsule was turned sideways and was horizontal rather than straight rather than deep.
Okay.
So it's just like, these like individual beds that are basically cloth and pillow set on top of these small rock outcroppings that have been dug into the side of the inn's walls, and then there's just a big common area for everyone when they're not sleeping.
They're called bunks.
Except they're not. They're not freestanding. Like, they're
No, no.
in the wall.
Yeah, in they're still called bunks in that instance.
Basically, yeah. But and they're sort of stacked too high. There's one lower ring of bunks and one higher ring. And in handling the center where there's sort of this cooking fire in the middle of the room, and again you see the opening in the roof for the smoke to get out.
I'd like to bind my hearthstone.
You don't have one. It's a magic item.
And find some. It's usually like a basket of hearthstones over here.
Is an orc, sort of more red of hair with a short beard that's kind of trimmed right below the chin, but sort of a very tall and very thin mohawk that is running kind of wild along the center of his head as he looks up as he's turning a leg of meat on the fire. Ah,
Greetings.
fresh faces.
Throw a hole in the key.
It's nice to be in
Drunka.
the in crowd.
She doesn't have a
I like you.
I once again do the introductions.
Yeah, go through the introductions.
I'm Grosk Flesh Cleaver. It's hard to say his name.
Gloss.
Grosk.
Gross.
Grosk Flesh Cleaver.
Wasp. Okay.
I'm the innkeeper here. It's good to see all of you. And I imagine you're new in town, just out of the Valley of Trials. You have that fresh-faced, unsure of your future look about you.
I just look at him like, really?
Yeah, exactly. That about sums it up.
Well, all of us except for Kim.
Yes.
I just tag along.
New goblin friends.
Yes.
Always good to see one of you. You always bring interesting things to the table whenever you're in town.
I look in my bag.
In this particular case, he was being brought to the table by harpies.
Ah. Good, you've been rescued from that fate. That's not a pleasant way to go.
Didn't seem like it at the time.
In retrospect, it still doesn't.
I'm not thinking about it now.
Well, I imagine most of you will be staying at the barracks for the duration of your stay for your service in the military. But anytime you're free roaming on your own, you're welcome to stay here if you're in Razor Hill.
Are there any odd jobs or tasks you require of new blood?
No, I'm mostly good right now, but if anything comes up, I will make sure to let Garthok know that I need a hand or two, and they'll let you all know.
Good to know.
Still, welcome to Razor Hill. I'm sure you'll have a good time.
And we'll go and talk to the stable master.
Alright?
The last person on our list.
That's a start.
You also said anyone
we're not going
important.
to talk to anybody else. Stable master, and we're going to go back to Garthok.
You people.
I'm talking to people.
After-
Well, no, actually I'm
You're
not.
talking to animals.
You
Which
gave us-
I'm interacting with NPCs.
You gave us a short list, we followed the short list.
I feel like
I'm
after
getting an
that,
idea of who's in
Scout
this
is just
village
gonna-
before I start talking to people.
this is why I wish Jack was in this game, because he interacts with everybody, and it's amazing.
After that, Shiana's just gonna walk through. Are you important?
Are you
Are you important?
Is your life meaningful?
Que importante.
The stable master, as you learn, is a troll, a female troll. She's quite tall, actually. Her skin is kind of a teal green, and her green hair is kind of braided in waves behind her, and there's a pair of braids that rest around chest height.
Also, we would talk to more people, but we were given specific orders, and we're in the military.
He also said anyone of importance.
Yeah.
Anyone of importance. We just don't know.
So-
He said ingratiate yourselves to the town. He left it kind of open.
He
but
said-
like,
he said-
make sure to check these peeps out.
He said, make sure you meet these people, but meet the town, because these are the people
Yes.
you're going to be working with and protecting for the
Yep.
next little while.
Yep.
Yeah, socializing.
Socialize.
What's the stable master did?
Socialized.
So the stable master, she's kind of like reining in an ill-tempered Kodo, who's kind of thrashing wildly, and it's a massive beast, and you kind of wonder how anyone can really keep a Kodo when it's angry down. But she kind of grabs it by the horns and stares at it in the face, and no, you quiet down. And it kind of shuts up after a bit of staring. She kind of stands up straight again. Ah, fresh blood. What brings you to Razor Hill?
We are fresh from the Valley of Trials, sent by Commander Garthok to get to know the village. For the outpost.
Well, good to meet all of ya. My name be Shojami.
Okay, how do you
Show
spell
me.
that?
S-H-O-J-A.
S.
S-H-O-J-A.
Okay.
Apostrophe. M-Y.
How is it pronounced?
Shojami.
Shoshami.
Okay.
Shoshami.
It's a hard J. It's a J.
Jammy.
It's a J.
So jammy.
Show.
Okay.
Show me.
Shohua.
What are we showing you?
Show me.
Show me now.
I'm looking at pick up lines.
I be the stable master for the civilian stables. They got a different one for the war stables. Actually, he mostly sees me when he got problems with the war stables. So, I mean, I'm basically the stable master of both. But I be the one who in charge of the civilian stables. And so if after you're done with your stint with the military, if you need to bring your mounts in and rest for the evening, I'll be the one who keep them safe.
There was one who met us when we arrived, Soul Scar.
Ogni, yes. He's the one who brings most of the newcomers' mounts into the stables for me to take care of. Ogni, he's a interesting fellow, a bit one-track mind, but good man.
Good to know. Are there any particular issues that you would require our skill set with?
If you're military, you know how to fight, you know how to handle a weapon. If you see any harpies on the road, stick your blades in them. They've been hunting down my mounts. I've been losing too many rental mounts.
You'll be good. You'll be happy to know we burnt a nest on our way up here.
Harpies starting to lay nests down south. That's not a good thing. But good you burnt them out.
It was a smaller one. I counted 4.
4.
Yes.
Well, good you got them before they were able to set up shop and breed.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
I agree.
Shiana just stares at Josh.
And we go. I go into the story a little bit.
Well, good to see all of ya. Welcome to Razor Hill.
Are there any shamans in the outpost?
Good question. Let me make sure I have my list here. Yes. If you're looking for SWAT.
I would go introduce myself.
You can typically find SWAT out by the barracks. Usually, there's a series of tents where the spiritual folk that serve in the military like to stay. You'll find him around there.
Very well, thank you. I will need to go speak with the shamans. Those of you
Have fun.
would like to speak with others while we're here. In a few hours, we should probably meet back at the barracks to reconvene with Commander Garthok.
Well, my specialty aligns with yours, so I will.
Feel free to join me then. Well, take care. Please don't start any fights. I say, turning my look to...
I love meeting new people.
Yes, meet them.
Don't meet them.
Okay. We'll break apart then, and then the two of us will head over towards the shaman tent, or to the spiritual tent. The healer's tents.
Yeah, the voodoo lounge.
The voodoo lounge. Hi everybody, come to the voodoo lounge. Just finished Morgamar and more of my arms tired.
All right, so you two are heading to meet the healers.
Yes.
What are the rest of you up to?
I'm gonna head west and see if I can find Sita.
Find Cedar Keeper. You're gonna
Yeah,
start
just
heading out of town a
Yeah,
little bit,
start
just
heading
kind of
out,
get a
yeah.
look. Yeah.
And another heartbeat.
Brick, Shauna.
Shauna's gonna go off on her own, and she is gonna kind of wander, just watching people, seeing if anyone looks like they're like important.
Mm.
Shauna's going to go find the rogue trainer.
Worth her time.
You say that.
I know what's going on. I know how this works.
Brick, what are you up to?
I'll probably look around the shops.
Mm. There's a as you ask around, you learn about the general store is run by an orc by the name of Jark.
Jerk.
It's like Jerk but with an A.
Pushing it's like pushing up on my legs.
That sounded painful.
No, it's
You
good.
just did
Actually,
it.
it sounded quite relieving.
I
It
mean,
is.
sorry, just the.
Yeah, Jark.
Oh my gosh, it's in my face too.
Jark's sort of middle-aged orc, bald on the head, but long beard, and
I'll just start pulling my
he sort of
shoulders
runs
back
the
in front
general store that is the main general store of Razor Hill, which sort of takes in goods from all the surrounding villages and buys and trades and sells. And he's the one that you'll be looking for any like typical trade goods or food or rations or some raw materials as opposed to worked stuff. If you're like you already met the blacksmiths.
Yeah.
The bowyer is a male orc by the name of Grot. Grawt. I know orc names are so easy to spell, aren't they?
Grot.
The butcher, the one where you'll get most of your meat supplies from, is a man by the name of Grimtack.
Grimtalk.
And
Lots of grim names.
The seamster, who is actually a guy, is by the name of Qtac.
Lots of grim and tax.
Cutac.
What? So like a grim fairy tale set in Texas?
Yeah.
I would think any fairy tale set in Texas would be grim.
Or tall.
It's just a rattlesnake on the ground.
And you sort of wander around the shops and you get a few other people that handle a few other stores. But it's an outpost. There aren't a lot of shops. There's your basic stuff. Like if you imagine like a Wild West frontier town, that's kind of what this is. You know, there's the general store and there's the guy who runs the smith and like basically 3 stores beside that. You know.
The signs pretty much tell you what's there.
Saloon,
Food.
general store. You know, bullets.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna just look around and probably look through the list and see to get some stuff.
All right.
I'll let you
Does this
know.
mean we're gonna have to worry about certain members of the party getting into like high noon gun duels or something?
Deal with you in just a second.
Yes.
These two, you head over to the tents where, most of the shamans and priests and the druids are set up, and they tend to keep mostly to themselves. They sort of they have their communion, their spiritual rituals, and there's only a handful of them present right now. There's a druid, a troll, who you learn the name is Jabul. There's a priest who is also a troll. She's a troll by the name of Tai Jin. And a shaman again by the name of Swart, who is an orc.
SWART?
Yes.
Like SWAT, but with an R in the middle of it.
Yeah.
From Ka. Brothers.
The orc kind of looks up. Ah, Thrumka, newcomers.
We are from the Valley of Trials, newly come. I am a shaman. My ally here is a priest. Come to introduce ourselves to our fellows.
My name is Swart Stormcaller, and I am the resident shaman of Razor Hill. A number move through, but I am the one stationed here to make sure that the spirits are kept safe around this region.
How many shaman and various people are there
That are there right now?
Yeah.
It's probably about maybe 6 or 7.
Garrick Cloudspeaker.
The Firemender.
You must be the priest. I be Tai Jin, priestess of the Loa. Who be you and who you follow? You be Leaf, yes?
Yes, the Firemender. Okay. I'm trying to think of how. Yeah.
Practitioner of the Holy Light
Yep.
is typically the...
Yeah. I am Leaf Ironmender, a practitioner of the Holy Light.
Ah, it not be usual to see one of you around here. The closest thing we get is the Tauren with their Sunwalkers, the followers of the sun. But
I've heard of them.
be interesting to see one of you around here. I'd be glad to have conversation with you when you got free time.
It certainly is interesting learning all the ways of the world.
There be many fates among the hordes. No one's fate be rejected outright.
It's certainly a welcome change.
I imagine you have the look of a half-breed.
Indeed.
Where you come from, boy?
I forget, we talked about the town.
Booty Bay was
Yeah.
the Stranglethorn.
Well, from Booty Bay. Parents, they wanted peace. They were both, in certain ways, fed up with their resident
I understand.
factions.
People who wanted to find their own way among
Indeed.
the goblin towns. Well, you're here among family now. I understand being a half-breed in the outside world not always be the easiest. And I imagine there'll even be some among the horde who give you trouble. But
Yes.
here you among friends.
Thank you.
Anytime. If you ever need conversation, spiritual or otherwise, I'd be here.
And of course, should you ever require my aid.
Of course. Be interesting to have one of the holy light around here. We have, shall we say, a new arrow in the quiver.
Stormcaller.
Yes,
Have you felt the disturbance of the spirits of late?
I have. They are uneasy. They sense something coming, something large, but their words aren't enough to describe it.
What do you make of it?
I do not know. The last time I saw this unrest was on Draenor.
Durotar was quiet last night.
Yes, even the ocean was calm. Unusual. As if the spirits were hiding.
I have journeyed. I have seen both the Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor, and never have I known it to be that quiet.
No, it's not normal. And it gives me an ill feeling.
Indeed.
I would keep your eyes open and be careful.
Are there any communion rituals that might be done to ascertain what the problem is?
We've been trying, but the spirits are confused. I suspect not even they fully understand what is happening. The spirits of Earth have the most to say, and they speak of rumblings beneath, but do not wish to speak further.
Something awoken beneath the ground.
I am uncertain. We've tried to find what the answer might be, but to no avail. I suspect the only thing we can do is prepare for the worst and be ready.
Do we have any idea when this turbulence will arrive?
None. So we best be on alert until it comes. Know only that it will come.
We'll be prepared. Is there anything that you need of me, brother?
At the moment, no. You are welcome to rest here if you need it, though. We do most of our communion around these tents to stay away from most of the heat, but...
Let me return, but we must return to Commander Garthok and find our first task. Aside from introducing ourselves to the others.
Alright. Yeah, we'll deal with you, and then we'll go to Josh, because you're the one heading out of town real quick.
What's your full name again?
I don't know how to pronounce her really.
Could you spell it?
Starship. Jaffarson. Starship.
It's like Martian, but you cough at the beginning.
No,
It's like Jefferson
it's
with
like
an A
Jefferson
instead of an E.
Starship. It's Jefferson
No, it's
Starship.
spelled Jefferson.
Is it spelled Jefferson?
Yeah, Jafar. I just pronounce it with a J.
Jafar from...
Jafar instead of Jeffer.
Jefferson.
So it's kind of like
Starship.
change the E to the A.
Starship or spaceship?
Starship.
Starship.
Jaffarson, like Jafar from
Like-
from Aladdin.
Almost. Yeah.
Jaffarson Starship.
Yeah.
AKA Jefferson, but way overpronounced.
AKA Josh.
Yes.
But yeah, you as you're wondering, go ahead and roll me a spot check.
I already did it. It's 19.
Let me roll for him.
As you find the rogue trainer.
Or as the rogue trainer finds you.
Yeah.
It's probably more accurate.
As the rogue trainer finds you.
Oh yeah. So you're kind of looking around and just kind of meandering, kind of loitering and keeping an eye on everything, and you just kind of hear a low voice behind you. Just, you looking for trouble?
Maybe.
We'll stay out of it in my town.
Turns around.
You turn around and you come face to face with an orc wearing all black leathers. He has more of his body covered than anyone else that you've seen most of the time, which is saying something because it's really hot. So you imagine he's either sweating or in real good control of his body temperature. He has a short, almost purple beard that is just barely off of the bottom of his chin. Purple's one of the hair colors that orcs can have. It's really dark. It's like almost like a deep violet. And it just kind of rests right around here, like just off the chin. And there's like a series of knives across both of his arms, and his belt is covered in them as well. And he's got the symbol of the Horde on the breast of his tunic, but in a flap that is very easily concealed in case he needs to hide it.
Yes, I'm an orc that's not with the Horde.
Well, it's sort of like I'm acting in terms of official military, or I'm being just a criminal right now.
Yeah.
You know. And he sort of looks down at you. He stands a good foot taller than you, which is impressive that he managed to sneak up on you. The name's Kaplak, and I keep an eye on the criminal elements of this town, so watch yourself.
What's his name?
Kaplak. K-A-P-L-A-K.
Like caps lock, but not.
And why would you assume I'm criminal?
Well, you're standing around in the middle of nowhere doing nothing but watching people, and dressed in such a way that implies you like to not be seen when you don't want to be. And, which is impressive that you managed to hide yourself that well, because you stand out normally.
Maybe I'm just new to town.
Are you? You look like you just came out of the Valley of Trials.
Yes.
Well, I might have use for someone like you, someone that can get around unseen. I'm good at it, but I'm a bit of a known quality around here in Razor Hill, so... You're working for Garthok, I get it, but occasionally I'll have a job for you. And I appreciate you keeping it quiet. The more people know that Kaplak's hiring outside help, the less helpful the outside help is.
It's fine, I don't talk to people.
Good. I like it that way.
Alright.
This is going to be a very productive relationship.
And he just kind of turns and...
And 2 sessions later, Shiana's dead. Okay, moving on.
and he just kind of turns and walks off, and he
she's
just
gonna be
disappears in a
controlling
crowd
now.
of people, just like
She's gonna be running
immediately.
Alright.
So, that's you. Josh, you make your way west out of town.
Uh-huh.
And you
Looking
start
around for people.
looking around for people. Go ahead and roll me a search check.
A search check.
Yeah.
Oh no. He's gonna be
Search is
her first
search
introduction
is
to our very
intelligence
band.
placed, isn't
Yes,
it?
I know. Search is different. Search I can do. Search I get a little plus instead of a minus one. And by little I mean massive. Okay, I rolled a 10.
Did you do that thing where you put like 16 of your 25 points into intelligence so you could have an 18?
No, I've only got 16 intelligence so far. But we can do things. I rolled a 10 though.
10?
Because I'm not paying attention evidently.
I mean, that's enough. It's not. It's
I mean,
not.
Yeah, I know it's not as simple because if I see anything moving around here, I can probably focus on it.
Yeah. And so the thing you do notice as you walk just outside of view of the watchtower, basically, like you're just around the corner from where the watchtower can actually see. You see in the distance a shape getting closer, followed by several shapes slightly further off. And you start to focus and you look and you
Is it
see
running fast?
you see a humanoid shape running towards you carrying a large sack, and immediately behind her are the shapes of 4 humanoid, almost pig-like entities that are running with spears, and their backs are kind of adorned with these large, sharp spines as they're chasing after this. What you get a better look and see is definitely an undead humanoid, definitely an undead human woman.
Okay.
Like long, kind of seaweed green hair, kind of trailing behind her as she runs with this large pack. As she is running in your direction, she just kind of pulls something off her belt, uncorks it, and throws it behind her, and there's a splash as a spray of acid impacts with the group of quillboars, and they kind of sputter off and detach as they deal with the acid that is splashed in their face, and it gives her a bit
so
of...
within we're close proximity to the watchtower?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, I need to yell up there and see if they notice.
Yeah, you
what's
give
going on.
you give a shout up,
Yeah.
and someone on the watchtower looks down at you,
Like
looks
point.
over at where you're indicating, gives a shout over to the rest of the watchtower, and a few seconds later you see
I know
like
that.
three or four orcs with longbows just like stand on top of the watchtower and start pulling arrows back.
I'm gonna load my crossbow and.
All right, go ahead and roll me an attack.
All right.
Do they ring a bell of warning or anything like that?
For
No.
4 quill
For
wars?
4 quill
I
bars,
don't
not
know.
really.
Or
Maybe.
not really. 11.
That's
I mean, if they're running, they're flat-footed.
yeah. They're flat-footed, but their armor's still decent, so
Yeah.
it's still.
Right.
Actually, no, they're not wearing any armor. These are just random dudes. So no, yeah, you hit him.
Oh, okay. Let's do this. 6 points of damage.
Nice.
The marvels of enemies not paying attention to you.
He's already injured from the acid, so with the crossbow bolt, you launch it, and this crossbow bolt digs into the neck of one of these quill boars, and is splashing acid off of his face. He just and falls over.
One down.
And at this point, a rain of arrows comes down from the watchtower, and it just digs into the quill boars, and the one that doesn't die from the hail immediately turns and starts running away as this undead woman kind of catches up to your position and stops and turns around, not breathing hard because she's undead.
Right.
So she doesn't tire.
Correction, not breathing.
Not breathing.
Not breathing.
I mean, they can breathe voluntarily.
Yeah, if
They
they
just
want
don't need to.
Why would they have to?
She just stops and straightens up with that complete economy of motion of someone who is not tired, and just kind of turns and looks at the quillboars as they're turning away. Well, that was productive.
So, did you lose anything on the...
She looks down. Just a vial of acid, and looks back up. Oh, sorry. Good to meet you. Thank you for that. I'm Cedar Keeper.
Just call me Josh.
Josh. Well, I thank you for the assistance in calling the guards.
Yes. I was talking to Drumlock earlier. I just thought I'd come out and see what you were up to.
Well, I was gathering Thunderbloom from around the Quillboard dens, and unfortunately they're very territorial and don't take kindly to trespassers.
I see.
Well, what brings you to Razor Hill?
Actually, I was just minding my own business and got picked up by a bunch of harpies. Fortunately, a little group of folks helped me out, and I'm just kind of following them now.
That is one of the benefits of being undead. The harpies tend to leave you alone. Also being a woman, but that means they would just kill you instead. But
Right.
I'm not even worth meat to
Yes.
them.
But I'm just kind of following this group along that's new to the area, and we're just introducing ourselves to everybody around, and I just thought I'd head out this direction.
Well, I thank you for that, and I should probably get back to Grimlark before he starts to throw a tantrum. So I will see you later if you're ever in need of enchantment or alchemy. See me in Grimlark.
Okay.
And she kind of starts walking by and
I'm gonna head out and see if
get the Quillboard dropped anything
they
when they
dropped
die.
anything. Yes. See if they had anything on them.
Loot the Quillboars!
Sure, go ahead.
I mean, hey, he's the goblin of the party.
I
It's
gotta get
his
some.
job to loot everything.
The thing that I hate is that the monster guide never gives you a loot table for anything.
Right. You just have to.
But it's they have about 3 javelins each, so you find about 9 of them on the 3 that
Okay,
died.
so I'll pick up.
And they each have a short spear as well for their own personal use. So there's 3 short spears and 9 javelins.
Okay.
Their armor ruined by the acid.
Right.
What little they had is
I could-
basically gone.
I could turn those javelins into something
Um,
else.
But they do have
How? Carpentry.
metal isn't as easily eaten by acid.
Like pole.
So you do find
One pole makes lots of arrows.
about
Bolts.
15 copper worth of coins on them
Okay.
that they seem to have looted off of various people.
All right.
This big of a pole makes a couple of arrows.
I'm just gonna pick up everything and bring it in, and
Right.
I'm gonna head
Twice
over to
the
the
bolts.
metalworking.
The
place and just-
blacksmith.
Yeah, blacksmith's place, and just. Is there a separate armory type place?
There's the armory and the barracks
In the
and the
barracks.
general goods store if you wanted to go somewhere else. But the blacksmith is probably the place where you want to sell weapons.
Yeah. All right. I just want to And then turn in the javelins and spears and see if they can use them.
Alright, well, you head over to the blacksmith, and once again, you see Kran kind of looks over at Ugar. We've got someone with some stuff to sell. And the orc who's working on the sword kind of puts the long sword in the quenching bowl and steps over. All right, you've got some weapons to sell. It looks like.
Yeah. Thought maybe you could use some of these around here.
All right. What's the base price on javelins and short spears?
They're gold,
They're
but
gold
but that's
Yeah,
I imagine these are not the same quality of javelin.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to get the base
These
price.
are going to be,
Are they both a gold?
Yes,
Each javelins are gold and short spears are gold.
they're very similar weapons.
Okay, just making
There's
sure.
not significant differences.
It's a stick with a bit of metal at the end. Sometimes it's not
Well,
metal.
that's what I was about to say. A stick with a piece of metal at the end is a gold. I imagine these are just sharpened sticks.
Basically.
Which I imagine would be closer to the cost.
Or
of
actually, I think Quillbores use their
spines.
Yeah, they put their own spines on it. So
Yeah, they put their spines on the ends of
I don't
sticks.
think they're super durable.
Well,
They can use the sticks at least.
yeah, this is at the very least it's salvageable wood, which isn't incredibly easy to find outside of quillboard dens.
right.
Have you noticed? You look like you've been traveling. Have you seen any of the quillboard warrens? They're notable by the giant masses of thorny branches that grow around them. Their shamans sort of grow these defensive layers around them.
Yes.
If you see them, they're excellent sources of wood, which is a rarity in Duratar and the Barrens. So if you see and can harvest any wood from the quillboard dens, we appreciate it if you bring it in.
Okay.
But for the wood and the quills, which are good for adornment if nothing else, I can probably get you, for the lot of this, a gold piece.
Okay. That's acceptable.
All right.
Ting.
He gives you a gold piece, takes the javelins and the short spears.
Yes. Okay.
And that is that. Brick, what are you up to? You want to buy anything, or?
Yeah, since we're gonna be if we're gonna be getting the ores for them, I got a pickaxe.
Pickaxe? Alright. The regular market price is what you get for that one, which I think is like a 3 copper or 3 silver.
It was 3 gold.
3 gold? Yeah, that's fine.
Ting. Ting.
And some rope.
And some rope. Alright.
And torches.
Alright.
Since I can't see at night.
Anyone have anything else to do?
Just see if there's anybody that needs any help, and then eventually, whenever. I don't know if Garthok has set a time or anything. but
Not really.
Yeah. See if anybody needs any assistance that I can provide, and if not, head back to the garrison. Head back to the barracks.
Shauna's continuing to look for people of importance.
You get a general lay of Razor Hill. You sort of figure out where most of the stores are at, where what all the routes are out to get in and out of the town. You get a sense of there's one engineer in the town aside from there's I gave you her name, the girl who works at the blacksmith.
Kern.
Kran?
Kren.
Kren. Yeah, there's Kren who works at the blacksmith makes most of the materials, but there's one engineer by the name of Mookdrak. Who is an orc who does most of the actual engineering work on building the demolishers that Razor Hill uses and maintaining them. So he's probably of note to you because orcish engineering is usually in the regards of weapons. So anything you might need, you could probably get from him, or from your new friend if he decides to build it for you.
Friend is such
Yes. This is overstated word.
He's my friend.
Krun is the foreman of most of the ore handling.
Krun as opposed to Kren.
Krun, actually.
Kroon.
K-R-U-N-N. Whereas Kren is C-R-A-N. Kren.
What is he?
Krun is an orc.
I would have worked
But what-
with him.
Yeah, you would have worked with Krun.
What is he?
He's an orc.
No, like, what does he do?
Oh, he's the foreman for most of the mining and
Okay.
ore moving.
He's a peon. He's the head of the other peons.
basically.
He's probably. I think he's probably actually my size, closer to my size.
Oh yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah, it's like, oh look, it's another person that's the size of Garrick.
Yeah, and he's the one who handles like moving ore. You always, every time you see him in like, any time you would see him in the future, he's always wearing that like foreman's cap with the headlamp on it.
And it has 2 pickaxes.
No, just one, but he does have the pickaxe and shovel.
If I walk past him, just like raise a forearm.
Yeah, he's like.
It's the universal peon greeting, just.
Other than that, there's a handful of other people, but you don't get too many more names just from the first
Okay.
couple of hours.
They're not worth my time.
Yeah.
Zub zub.
No, many people are.
Fire elemental in the back of your head again.
Shut up.
And so the rest of you all meet up after a short amount of time back at the barracks.
I would see. Does the stable master ever come into the war stable during the period I'm there?
There is a stable master who is an orc.
Are they stable?
From what you gather, by the name of Thotar.
Master of the stable.
And he is decent with the animals. He's not the best in the world. He seems to be more of a combat trainer than a stable master, like in terms of handling the animals. So
Okay.
he's decent with them, but he's better at fighting with them than actually
Yeah.
handling them in the non-combat sense. And anytime he has any trouble with one of them, you notice he calls in a female troll, whose name you gather again is Shojami. And
the one you described.
yeah, she has an immediate connection with every animal she comes across, basically, within the stable.
I will introduce myself to her in the manner in which I do. Does she present herself as an alpha among these animals, or as one of the animals, or as a separate entity, as most humanoids do?
It's really hard to say. She carries herself uniquely. It's less that she sees herself as one of the animals, and more that she sees the animals as her people.
Okay. So she considers herself equal to the animals, but more in a bringing the animals up than bringing her down.
Yeah, it's sort of. These animals are just as good as any orc or any troll, basically, as far as she's concerned. And so she kind of, as soon as she enters this room, there is this presence of belonging that seems to that you get from most of the animals in here. They all not quite see as an alpha, but look up to her. And so, like, immediately, any belligerent animals that are giving Thotar any hard time immediately calm down as soon as Shojami walks in. And she just kind of, anytime one of them gives any buck, she just kind of grabs them by the neck and forces them to look at her and stares at them for a second, and they calm down. Interesting.
So how do these two individuals react to me being in the stable?
Thotar kind of gives you a second look, and it's just, well, he's here and he's not bothering the animals, so it's fine.
Okay.
Shojami, when she walks in, she walks among the animals and sees you probably next to most of the raptors and looks down. What be you doing here?
I will look up and do the cocked head thing that dogs do.
She kind of tilts her head the other way. And kind of looks at you. And then sort of like steps right up to you and kneels down and just stares in your eyes for a second.
I will stare back and make sure, because this seems to be her domain, so I'm going to make sure I'm not showing any teeth or anything that would be hostile, and do more of a, but not backing down, broad shoulders but no teeth, sort of like I did.
Aside from the tusks that you can't really hide.
I mean, yes, but it's yeah.
When your face sticks out like that, you just can't hide it.
Ah, you be one of the wild ones. Well, welcome to the Horde. There be plenty like you around here. You'll fit in just fine, she says, and she indicates to the raptors and the wolves.
Okay.
But this ain't where you sleep. The animals here, I gotta take care of them mostly because this is where they need to stay. You can take care of yourself. I ain't feeding you.
Upon realizing what she said, I will pull out that I have meat. That is oddly cured harpy meat at the moment, but, you know.
Good. That's fine. You take care of yourself, you're good. And she goes back to taking care of
Okay, yeah,
everything
I'll
else.
really what I'm doing. I just need to make sure I was known to the individuals of the stable.
Mm-hmm.
When we get back to the barracks, if he's not back, I will go looking for
He's
our
not.
missing troll.
I mean, I head back to the barracks after I've had a chance to get a feel for all the people in there, the people who actually matter.
The animals, yeah.
Yeah, the orc doesn't. But you know, the animals and the troll.
Yeah.
I'd return to the barracks.
Alright.
So you all finally eventually meet back at the barracks.
Well, I hope we've all had productive conversations. The spirits remain uneasy. The shamans here are also aware of it. Something not good is coming.
Well, I take it you've all had your chance to meet the locals, ingratiate yourself, get to know who you'll be protecting soon.
Commander Garthok, yes, I believe we all have. Or at the very least, we all went our own ways.
Well, hopefully that's enough to get you started, because I've got your first task for you. I've been trying to figure out what would be a good start for you, and, well, I've been getting constant reports for the past couple of weeks of the Quillbores getting more active, and I think that might be a good place to start. The Quillbores have been, from what our scouts can tell, have been gathering weapons and armor and mobilizing, and we're a little concerned about the threat they might pose to the outlying farms.
Is there a warren nearby?
There is. It's a good deal to the west, south of the road towards the Barrens. It's mostly been less of a problem up until recently, but we're concerned that if they start to mobilize en masse, then they become a danger to Razor Hill and its farms.
Well then, it sounds as if you are asking us to go cull their activities.
Well, no. Sending a group of untested newcomers into the Warren would be sending them to their death. What I want you to do is do some patrols. Patrol the farmlands, keep an eye out for Quillbores. Scout. Find out their movements, find out what they're doing. I want to know if they are attacking any farms. And I want to know where they're coming from. If they're coming from the nearby warrens, that wouldn't be too bad. We can handle some from those nearby warrens. But if they're coming all the way from Razorfen Crawl, if they've been moving up from the Barrens, I want to know, because that's a much larger force we're having to deal with.
Well, you have a map of the area.
I do. And he sort of hands you a map that would mostly have what is on the large map, but it's just the map area of Duratar and the Barrens in the big map.
Over there. That it's difficult to
Plot
pass
one.
around.
Yeah.
So take it. Very well.
Let us head out towards the farms then, and see what we can find.
All right. Well, The mounts that you brought in are still requisitioned to you for now. You can hold on to them as you go.
Very good. And let us return to the stables. And go from there.
Okay. Let's go.
You head back. You head back to the.
What?
You have theme
Is there any way
music.
we can hide our numbers so they can attack us and we can wipe them out? Just in small groups, instead of fighting all of them at once.
Right, single
I guess.
file.
Wait, hiding our numbers.
No, I don't think.
Yes.
If they are planning attacks, then I don't think that hiding our numbers will be necessary. They would attack regardless of how many of us there were.
So you
Okay. So this is just. A
you head over to the
fighting.
stables, and Shojami gets you all of your mounts.
Yeah.
She hands each of you the reins to your mounts with your animals. They've been fed. They've had water. All right.
Pet the wolf.
You keep these mounts safe now. They're good newcomers. I like them.
We'll do our best.
All right. Good luck on your first mission. Welcome to Razor Hill once again. Loktarogar.
Loktar Ogar.
So, the mounts that we have, do they have any raptor mounts here that I might have been able to...
They do have raptors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Aerial reconnaissance would be pretty.
well, no, not velociraptors, not flappy flap raptors.
Oh, shucks.
Not pterodactyls.
So do they have any goblin zeppelins?
No, not in the stable.
Mini
Uh,
zeppelins.
Is it possible for me to utilize a
should-
raptor
should
mount
pinpoint
instead of
sensor,
or,
not like
or
a
is it the
real
way that the horde setup that I've got? I have the mount I brought.
Well, actually, as she looks at you with your wolf. Actually, I think you better off with a raptor. And she takes the reins of the wolf and leads it back into the stable and comes back with a red-scaled raptor. Not a whole bunch of adornment, but it
Yeah.
doesn't need it.
Raptor friend.
Yep.
Yay.
I will hop on raptor friend.
Right.
Well, actually, that's not the first thing I would do. I mean, I probably already introduced myself
Yeah.
to the raptor friend, so I will accompany raptor friend, and I suppose at some point somebody will notify me that I'm supposed to ride it.
Yeah. When they start picking up speed.
Yes.
We'll get on and we're starting to head out and you're like sort of walking next to the raptor.
Yeah.
Wild Walker. Your name is a euphemism more than anything else. You should ride
Wild
your
rider.
raptor. They say indicating the reins.
He seems to respond better than pointing and hops on the raptor.
I'm just going to let Shiona deal with that.
I will not be his babysitter.
He doesn't listen to anyone else.
He doesn't listen is the thing. Words don't exactly... He doesn't need words. He doesn't seem to use them.
Well, I mean, he gets the main points of things.
He's better with hand gestures. So am I.
I mean,
How about this one?
We ride.
I mean, you can only do hand gestures. Not, hands
Along
gestures.
with
Are you saying this in character?
No, of course not! I value my throat. I value my jugular, and
Hey!
it's placed below my head.
Because Leaf is gonna die.
No, he's not.
So, I would...
He kind of...
Read it like a leaf.
He knows exactly who not to make angry. And that list includes everyone on the planet.
the true light?
Yes.
Yeah.
half-orc Jesus.
Jesus.
I mean, I play a lot of pacifist. What can I say?
Just like your brother. Jeez. Our children will not be like this.
Alright.
I'm keeping an eye out for Quillboars.
Yeah, so everyone can roll me a spot check as you're writing.
Okay.
I mean, I can roll the die.
18.
I probably. Ooh! rolled a 19.
Nice.
That's as high as I can go.
Is that a natural 20?
Yeah.
Okay.
10.
10.
10.
10.
24.
24.
Natural one.
Natural 1.
Yeah.
Rick, you get sand in your face, and you're just like, it's in my fur.
You get the the goblin is like on your head. That's the problem. It's like
I'm trying to see. I'm wrapped around his head.
you're like
I mean, hey, that's why he got such a good roll. He had a good vantage point.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did.
I didn't have a better vantage point.
it's like
I'm almost higher than the tower.
Leaf and I are like out ahead, like keeping an eye out. Shiana and Wildwalker are sort of in the middle, and then they're in the back, but the goblin's on top of the tower.
Like he's doing that thing where like he has his hands.
Yeah, it's
over
like
the goblin's eyes.
that way.
The
One arm
torrent
wrapped
eyes.
around.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
now
Twilight's
left.
like, what are you doing? I will break you. Get off me.
But Josh and Leaf
I rolled an 18 too.
and
Garrick.
as you're moving around near some of the pig farms, there's one pig farm that has as you get out, you sort of get an idea of what the outlying farmland around Razor Hill looks like, and it's mostly meat farms. There's not a whole lot of plant life to grow a lot of vegetation, so most of the vegetation is grown alongside the animals, usually to be eaten and a small amount to be saved to the side. There's one of the pig farms that rests alongside an oasis, like a small amount of water, like it's a small lake that mostly is just like a divot in the ground that collects the small amount of rainwater, and just kind of stays there. And as you're keeping an eye and it's around this particular farm that you, as you're looking around. In the distance to the south, because the Duratar is mostly empty, there's like a handful of palm trees, and that's about it. So you got a pretty clear view up to the horizon. To the south, you can see in the cliff faces that are on the southern end of Duratar, you can see these massive stretches of thorn bramble that look almost like giant tree roots that are like curling around the cliff face that are covered in giant thorns and spines that sort of curl around a canyon in the cliff face that sort of help block off the entrance. You imagine like it's almost like a closed gate sort of these thorn vines. That closes around this canyon in the middle of the cliff face.
You said we were given a map of the area?
Yeah.
I'll mark this down.
Yeah, it is marked on there. It's marked as Razormane territory.
Okay.
Which you know is the name of, from what you gather, is the name of the Quillbore tribe that lives there. As you're keeping an eye, and it's around this farm that you start to spot tracks. Tracks that are definitely hoofed, but too small to be torrent tracks, which generally is in keeping with. They look like trotters, like pig trotters, which is in keeping with the Quillbores.
Here are their trucks. Can we tell where they're coming from?
From what you can tell, the ones that are moving away are moving in the direction of that massive bunch of thorns.
Looks to be coming from that warren over there. Do we see any Quillbores active right now?
Not right now. Not outside of the warren, anyway.
Do these beasts tend to be nocturnal, or they're usually around during the day? Right?
What do I know about? I do have knowledge of nature. What do I know
you can
about
roll me nature.
Quillbores?
Yeah, you can roll me nature.
18.
So, Quillbores are one, they're not necessarily nocturnal. They keep a variety of sleep schedules. They are a sentient race, but they have sort of an alien mentality. They are suicidally brave, to the point that they defend their territory with so much zeal that it might be considered fanaticism to other people. They are incredibly territorial, and they will gladly sacrifice an individual for the benefit of the tribe. And the individual will gladly sacrifice himself for the benefit of the tribe. They have... The most important facet to a Quillbore is the survival of the species and the tribe. So individuality is less important. The higher ranks have this sort of rigid hierarchy, but individual Quillbores are as important as any other individual Quillbore, unless you're in the higher ranks, unless you're a captain or a battle guard leader. Their schedule for sleep is whatever the tribe needs. So there are always some Quillbore active at night and some active during the day.
So, they are sentient creatures. They don't necessarily have a specified sleep schedule. There are always Quillbore active, day and night.
So they'll just be running around whenever we see them.
Yes, well, theoretically. They defend their territory with unmatched zeal. So if they consider... I don't think they currently would consider this to be their territory, but they could very likely be looking to expand.
So do most of the farms in the area, do they tend to be run by orcs or...
Yeah, most of the farmland here is orcish.
We should continue on and see if there are any more tracks coming from any other directions. And we can verify that there are some attacks coming from this warren. Hopefully there are none coming from the barons.
Yeah.
So, continue on, circling around, trying to see if there are any more tracks.
Yep. Or
active groups of Quillbores.
Funny enough, as you keep going, eventually you hear the sounds of battle.
Oh. Let's go that direction.
To battle. Or to the battle, I should say.
Yeah, not... Two battles. Probably not into the battle. Maybe into the battle, but...
Well,
towards battle. Towards battle.
That's wording I can agree with.
Let's investigate, in other words.
Yeah.
At the very least.
As you get closer, you round read out to another one of these small lakes that seem to be almost man-made. Orc-made. You are considered man in terms of language.
Orc-made.
I'm speaking Orcish right now.
You can speak.
That seem to be manufactured, in order to collect water when it rains, so that you have a source of water. Because when it rains, it pours. It just doesn't. It just usually drips into the ground and doesn't rain for weeks between drops.
We are a coastal area.
Yeah, you're a coastal area. You're a coastal desert.
Coastal wasteland.
Yeah, it's clay.
Yeah.
Wasteland's a kind of desert.
Yeah, it's
less sand though.
Yeah, it's a clay desert.
Sand has nothing to do with deserts.
Yeah.
It has to do with rainfall.
Antarctica's a desert.
Yes.
Wasteland. You cross another ridge and you see another one of these farms, and there is a young orc of dark hair, with sort of in a mohawk, wearing a sort of metal breastplate with an axe in his hand, with what looks to be an older orc woman. If you had to guess, it would be his mother, with a pair of clubs in her hand and 4 large wolves, and the 6 of these individuals are setting on a group of about 8 quillboars, and in the middle of trying to fight them off of what you would assume is their land.
No, now it's to battle.
Okay, yeah.
As I pull,
I can get behind that.
as I pull my great sword out, call to the spirits, and cast Rockbiter weapon,
Javelins and charge.
and ride in.
Alright, so as you ride your wolf down, you bring your greatsword out and drag it down behind you on the ground, and as you ride, the rocks that you are kicking out kind of cling to the blade and form around it and form this rocky shell as you bring it up.
I fire a shot. As soon as I
Alright, well, we're gonna roll some initiative.
Where are we?
4!
Well, I mean, you're still a ways away.
That rock biter trick kind of slowed you down.
I suddenly gained a lot of drag on my wolf.
Yeah. Wolf not used to this yet.
I became less aerodynamic.
Also, you're real heavy.
I am. I'm very big. I have to have a very big
7.
wolf.
Last?
5.
Better than me.
10.
23.
Oh, hey.
I am back.
Okay, so it goes.
I can't even.
11.
Okay, so it goes Shiana.
Shana, everyone else,
Will
then the
Boars.
rest of us. Going last.
Alright,
Hooray for
Ragaran.
having a -1 to my initiative.
I have a 0.
Again. Wait, no, sorry, not again, but
I have a 0 in my
I rolled
initiative.
a 20.
So your initiative's better than mine.
I rolled a 4.
I rolled a 6.
It's hard for initiative not to be better than yours if you have a -1. Not many people are going to put a 6 in their decks.
I mean, if you're a race that
Also,
loses decks.
because of the way we did our stats, we can't be worse than.
Unless you lose decks.
You can, because races lose decks.
Oh yeah.
A Forsaken that doesn't put anything in decks.
I have a 6 intelligence.
That's fair. Yeah, I had to raise my intelligence to 12, so I wouldn't have an 8 intelligence. Because I'm not like a genius, but Garrick is smart enough.
And then it goes. Okay, you had
11.
11,
Did you do the same thing?
10.
Put a 12 in your intelligence. So you
Let's
get
say
10?
7. You had
5.
5,
Yeah.
10,
Yeah.
and 10. Oh no, wait, no.
Mine's 4.
You were 4. Okay, so it goes Tekla, Jang, then Brick, then you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you. Josh, Leaf, and then Garrick at the bottom.
Yep. Come out last again.
All right, Shauna.
First in the second round.
Alright,
Yeah, exactly. That's how you look at it.
I'm gonna ride up to the closest one that I can get to, and
I'm gonna be able to get
Go.
flanking off of
Yeah,
it.
slash.
stabby stab. Alright, that is 16 to hit.
That does not quite make it.
Shoot.
Nasty prickly.
Because you realize as you get close, yeah, these quillboars are wearing armor.
Ooh.
Right.
Alright, that's your turn. Quillboar's turn. One of them.
46. If I'm 2 sizes larger. My weapon is considered 2 sizes larger. It's a great sword, so it'd be 46, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. It hits like a truck.
Alright, so the one of the quillboars turns to face you, Shiona, as you've come across and is going to jab at you with its spear.
Come at me.
One is coming at you. That's a 16 to hit.
Yes, 16 hits.
Alright, that's going to be 7 points of piercing damage.
Ow. Ow.
46 plus 4 damage.
Another one's going to go.
Also, do we have working pencils? Mine's out of lead.
Why is your pencil always out of lead?
Because it doesn't like me. I don't know.
We should stop getting pencils from the dollar store.
We probably should.
Or get actual pencils.
No, you'd be surprised at how bad wooden pencils can be from the dollar store.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We should
that's
just
it.
like.
I tried to sharpen one and it
Walmart.
split in half.
Which way?
Lengthwise.
Yeah.
I put...
Wait, what?
What the heck?
Well, now you've
Yeah,
got
they-
two.
They are pretty bad.
Now you've got two
There's
pencils.
only lead on one side.
It's value. You get two for the price of one.
No, but the lead isn't any good either. It's different. Sometimes it's so hard it doesn't really.
I mean,
make a mark.
You just pull the lead out and just use it.
It's not really 2 for the price of 1. It's 1 for it's 0 for the price of 1/2. Really, this is a dollar store. Remember.
So
Anyway.
the Quillboars all lunge at these wolves and the 2 orcs and are just kind of laying into them. They don't really manage to make contact with the 2 orcs, but the wolves take a bit of a hit. Which then brings it to Ragaran. The orc male just kind of brings this axe that he's got up and just hacks at one of these Quillboars. It's going to hit, and it's going to take his great axe, and is going to need a d12 that I don't seem to have right now. Darn it.
That one.
I just dropped one.
I'll just use this giant one. Oh, that works. Hey, he does more damage than it has health on the die. As he just takes the, I need it actually for the rest of this fight.
Do you need it?
Nope.
Alright.
I don't roll a d12 for a darn thing.
Except your hit dice. Oh, you're not a barbarian yet.
I'm not a barbarian.
Yet.
He's a troll. He's a level 1 troll.
And he just kind of digs his great axe into this Quillbore and drops it on the ground. The older woman, with her 2 clubs, brings her hand up, and there's a bolt of lightning that cracks down from the sky, and she just extends her hand forward, and it blasts into one of the Quillbores. Touch attack. That's a natural 20 on the touch attack.
Shut up. She can crit it.
And she confirms it with another natural 20.
I think it's dead.
I think it's very dead.
I think
Oh, it's super
alive.
dead. As this bolt of lightning extends from her hands and crackles across this Quillbore as it spasms and falls to the ground. That brings us to,
Troll, I believe.
yes, Jangatal.
Is there a way that I can charge into flank?
Yes.
Cool. Go.
You can basically charge in a straight line and end up behind it because you're kind of approaching from the side.
Yeah. So that makes that 21.
That hits, yes.
Cool. I like to flank things. It's what I do. 6 damage.
6 damage.
Also, I would like to, like, cry out loudly as I, just make loud grunting, aggressive noises to try to attract attention to myself away from the squishy wolves.
Mm-hmm. It's probably a good idea, honestly, because the wolves aren't doing so hot. They're just wolves.
Let's see if I can irk some ire.
Alright. Roll me an intimidation check, actually.
I'm so intimidating with my low charisma. But that's a 19 on the die, so a 17.
Not bad. Alright, then at that point, that brings it to Brick. What you got?
Okay, so how are they? How is it?
It's kind of just 2 lines, like the it's kind of spread out as the Quillboars are kind of advanced towards the farm, but the wolves and the 2 orcs have kind of formed a defensive line, so it's just kind of, it's like a loose semicircle with the Quillboars kind of folding around the defensive line that the orcs and wolves have.
Okay. And how far are we?
You're only about, at this point, by the time you enter the fight, you're only about 20 feet out.
Okay. I'm gonna. I'm gonna get as close to the wolves and the orcs as possible, unmount and cast or activate it's called the mark of kind striking.
Mark of kind striking?
Yeah.
What does that do for you?
It gives me a natural. Where is it? I had it right here.
I believe it gives you plus 1d6 damage, but all the damage is dual.
Next attack with a natural weapon deals an extra 1d4 of non-lethal damage.
Okay, yeah.
So, And that will be it.
Right. And is that for a duration, or is it just your next attack?
Next attack.
Okay. Okay. Alright, so that is your turn. Okay. That brings us to Josh. What you got?
I'm gonna try to shoot one of them with the
With the crossbow?
crossbow. And see if that does any good. No, guess not. 11.
Not quite, unfortunately. Leaf.
Anybody taking damage?
Some of the wolves have. And Shiana's
I'm at
taking.
1 hit point.
She's at 1 hit
She's
point?
down. Yeah, she's
That's
down
right.
a whole
Oh,
bunch.
you took damage?
Yeah, she took a lot of damage.
7.
Oh yeah, you've only got 8 hit points.
Yes.
That's alright. I have 12 hit points, so I keep forgetting.
Well,
that
good
he's
for
level
you.
less than that. I keep forgetting we're level 1.
Touch attack. Just pat her on the back.
Yeah, you know what? You're gonna get used to it. You're gonna get used to this whole not dying thing. You better at least.
Just don't heal her.
I
until
wouldn't
she
talk
knocks
to
off.
her like that.
Yes,
Just a
but
tip for survival.
have 7 hit points back.
You need to get one of those weapons that heals.
They're light wounds.
And shoot her in the back every once in a while.
You just get a dart gun from Forsaken.
Yeah, I mean,
Like Crash would just stab Lucy.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Just like,
okay.
actually, you know,
I'm a tank. I'm
they-
doing
they-
tankering stuff. I can and actually want to get one of those things. It keeps me off the front line.
you can talk to
It plays to all my skills.
You can talk to Sita Kiever about it. She is a Forsaken apothecary.
This is a real possibility. I want to do tech magey type things with this character, so
Yeah. Garrick. What you got?
So I would like to make a tumble check to dismount the wolf and let it keep going, so that I basically roll into flanking with one of the with one of the kobolds, flanking with
It's a
Shiana.
ride check.
Would it be a right check or?
It's a ride check to
I just want to fall
quick
off
dismount.
basically.
If you fall off, you land on your face.
Oh,
it's,
okay.
it's not tumbling to
It's a
jump off a
I mean,
horse.
it's the same roll because my ride and agility are the same, so it'd be a 21.
All right. Well, yeah. So you as your wolf rides by, you roll off of it and land standing, weapon raised. So
And I'm going to, and as I do, I shout out, Loktar, doing my battle shout. So everyone gets +2 more. Everyone gets a +2 morale bonus to damage.
all right.
And I'm going to attack. What's the bonus for flanking?
Who are you flanking with? +2.
So,
Yeah, it's only +3 if it's
It's only +3 if it's me.
Plus more if I make if I mark kin somebody. But that's a natural 20.
Hey, roll to confirm.
Let's roll to confirm. That's another natural 20.
Just like she got. Yep, that confirms. Roll damages.
All right.
And because Rockbiter weapon increases the weapon size category, the extra dice also multiply.
Yep.
It
Do
doesn't.
I multiply the modifiers?
Yes.
Any flat modifier, yes.
Okay, so
It just doesn't multiply like extra elemental damage, for instance.
Yeah,
which is why Rockbiter weapon is real good because it doesn't add elemental damage; it increases
so I
the weapon
currently
size.
have +6, so that's +12 to the damage.
Yes.
And this is all multiplied by 2.
He's dead. I just want to see how much you killed him by.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14 plus 12. So 9. So 14 times 2 is 28. Plus 12 is 40.
Yeah, no, he's super dead.
Like roll off the wolf, and this great sword just comes by Shona, and
It's not even as much of a slashing motion anymore because it's covered in rocks. You basically turn this quillbore into mist.
stand up next to Shona.
I'm assuming that the mounts that we have are not like war mounts.
No, they're
tribal
not.
mounts.
They're not fighting wolves.
That's why I made sure my wolf continued riding off away from the fight.
Yeah, well, it also means that if you want to stay mounted and fight, you have to make ride checks
Yeah.
to avoid them trying to get the heck away.
You can get a trained war raptor, but that is expensive.
600 gold, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, so that's a trained dire wolf.
Yeah.
Like war raptor's probably the same price.
Yeah, probably about the same.
I
They're
just-
they're similar mounts for different races.
I just had an Orcish Blade Master moment, and I'm not a Blade Master yet.
Yeah. That brings us back to Shiona. You're at the top.
Alright.
The one that was just stabbing you is dead.
Good.
The one that
I'll
was
go
just
for the-
stabbing you is missed.
I'll go for the next.
All right.
You can. I think you can probably move to flank with me still, because I'm right
Or
next
to
to you.
flank with.
Yeah.
This needs to
Yeah,
be,
there's a hole
like,
there.
not. Yeah. My tie always gets. There we go. 16.
16. Is that counting your flanking bonus?
Flanking's +2.
18.
Good, because that's exactly their armor class.
Wonderful.
So you deal damage, and because you're flanking, you get your sneak attack.
And you also get an extra +2 to your damage.
Yes, I put the extra +2. What's my sneak attack?
D6.
So you get an additional d6.
So I get 2d6. Oh, nice. So that's 10 plus. Alright, 15.
Yeah, so you just quietly moving around one of these quillboars that is running up to fight one of the wolves. You just step up next to it and just drag your claws of attack across its throat, and it just falls to the ground as it kind of topples. It does that thing where, like, as you drag your claws across its throat, it spins towards you, and so it falls to the ground back first, and so it's just staring up at the sky as it dies. That brings us. We're down to only 4 of these guys left.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah, now it's their turn. 2 of them are going after you because you've intimidated them.
Ooh. And I'm writing well, which means that I get better AC.
All right, what is your armor class right now?
Let me confirm, make sure I'm controlling my mount, which is a natural 20. So yes, right now my AC is a 19.
19. All right, so that misses you, and that definitely misses you because that's a 2 on the die. So yeah, 2 of them run up to you and try and lunge at you with their spears, but you steer your raptor out of the way as you evade their blows. The other 2 are still going after Ragaran and Tekla, so that's cocked as it gets. That's a 16 on the dice, so that will hit and deal 5 damage to Ragaran. Other one will miss Tekla. Okay. And that brings us to Ragaran, who is going to swing his great axe at the thing that just hurt him and roll a 16 on the die. How dead is this Quillbor? He's still alive. As the Quillbor jabs him in the shoulder, he brings his axe back around and cuts across its chest. It survives, but he's looking hurt. Tekla is just going to swing her club and save her man out. This elderly grandmother is crushing these Quillbors with another natural 20.
The power of a shaman.
That's a confirmation with her club.
The shamans have been critting. The spirits are with us.
She just with her a hand that wasn't calling lightning, just brings it down and stigs it into the skull of one of these Quillbors, and it just squeals like a pig and just falls over.
It appropriately squeals, indeed, like a stuck pig.
Jangatal. There's
Alright,
3 left.
so I failed to control my mount, so I did succeed in rapid dismounting it because it doesn't want to be here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And how many are left? 3?
3.
Well, let's finish this one I'm flanking. That's like 25 to hit.
Yes.
Awesome. Let's deal a non-zero amount of damage to it. 6 is not 0.
He's dead.
Cool.
He's already injured.
And there's 1 on me. Where's the other one?
The other one is directly adjacent to your right.
But they're both adjacent to me?
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to be pestering and abrasive and trying to draw their ire.
All right. He's already on you, so.
Yes. Well, so are they both on me or just one?
Yeah, they're both on you.
Cool. Come at me, bro.
And so that brings it to Brick.
Alright, so there's just 2 of them left?
There's 3 of them.
3? Okay. I'm gonna charge.
Oh, no, he's dead. Sorry, yeah, there's 2 of them left.
Okay. I'm gonna charge the closest one.
All right. Roll me an attack.
$23.
That hits. Remember to add an extra 2 for his shout and an extra D4 for your mark of kind striking.
As you subdue a Quillbor.
Yes. He doesn't have the mark of kind. He doesn't have the glyph of kind. The
Kind striking.
No, the
The-
Glyph of Perfect Steel, or whatever the simple rune is, that lets you deal lethal damage with your fists, yeah.
Or the improved unarmed strike feat.
Yeah.
Way to go, Oscar.
Yep.
10.
10? I mean, that's more than his max hit points. It's non-lethal, but he's out. As you deck him across the face, and he just and falls unconscious under the ground.
Whose turn is it now?
That brings it to Josh. You're up. There's one left that's conscious.
Dismount and start fleecing things because I can't really hit these very well anyway.
All right.
Loot the body!
Start looting.
Good head start.
You immediately just hop off of the Kodo and you just get down to one of the ones that's dead on the ground. Probably the unconscious one that Brick just knocked out, actually.
Yeah.
And you just like pop the straps off of his breastplate and start pulling it off of him.
Yeah, whatever,
Is it
fine.
better than mine?
It's a breastplate.
Well, it's certainly not going to fit any of us because
No.
none of us are pigs.
No.
Well, but we can.
That makes
refashion
it
back
the
at
priest's turn, I think.
There's two
Yep.
more standing.
There's one.
One more
One's
standing.
unconscious, one's still standing. There's two left alive.
Cool.
And I think the only people that are hurt currently are the NPCs.
Yeah.
The wolves.
No, the wolves and two of the
One
orcs.
of the guy.
The
the
The guy with the
Ragaran
axe.
got stabbed with a
The
spear.
guy with the axe.
Sure. How heavily hurt does he look?
Eyes bloodied. He's below half his max hit points.
Actually a really good roll. 9 hit points back on him.
Sweet. And you put your hand on him and you pour this healing light into his wound as there's a flash of bright light, and he just kind of looks over his shoulder at you. Thank you, healer, and goes straight back into the fight. Garrick, what you
I'm
got?
gonna move over to flank with Jangatal, which gives me a +3.
Yes, get that tasty.
So
I no
I've got-
longer have flanking bonus.
I mean,
We're all gonna
There's only one left.
crowd this guy, so there'll be flanking.
Okay.
I need to do math because I may have missed.
I think he'll
Um,
die before we can really
plus
crowd
2
him.
is 10 plus 1 is 11 plus 3 is 14. 14.
Yep, you missed.
Nope, missed.
I mean, unless we all want to take our time to just crowd around in a circle around him before any of us make attacks.
I come up and around Jangatal, swinging the sword and the Kobold ducks.
Yeah.
But I get around to the other side of it.
Alright, that brings us back to the top. Shiona.
Come flank with us.
I will go flank with them. It's a flanking party.
It's a flanking party.
Ain't no party like a flanking party.
Because the
That's
flanking
flanking
party
party.
won't stop.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it stops when the victim dies.
Which I don't think he did.
I think that's leaning.
And that's a 3.
Is it a 3? Okay.
That's
I
definitely
wasn't
a 3.
sure. Okay. Yeah, I miss.
Alright.
With.
This last one is still standing. He's gonna try and hit the troll. What's your AC right now?
I'm back off the mount, so it's 15.
Oh, he is here.
That's fine.
You will take 8 points of damage.
Ow. The agony. The burn. The burn.
And alright, yeah, that will be his turn.
I'm
And...
going to.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. He's just seen 7 of his companions die.
He's
Well,
surrounded.
really quick, I'm gonna.
Sorry, that's 15 points of damage.
I'm gonna use my.
That does hurt.
I'm gonna use my immediate action to earth shock him.
I forgot that Quillbores get
Yeah,
more
they get
dangerous the
double-
more of their
people
allies die.
Yeah. Right.
He takes 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right, yeah. Because every Quillbore who witnesses an ally's death gains a +1 morale bonus on attack and damage rolls for the remainder of the combat, and it accumulates.
You're not counting the one that I knocked out, right?
No, he's not dead.
Yeah, that's what. That
Sorry, it would have been 14.
14? Okay.
One less.
I mean, he might not know he's not
He
dead.
might. Yeah.
He just saw a Tauren come and beat him into the ground.
Oh no, Quillbores know.
They know.
They can smell it.
It doesn't quite smell like bacon.
Most people can smell Quillbore urine.
That's not fake.
Ragaran's going to try and finish him off. With a natural 20. Alright, we're rolling a lot of natural 20s tonight. Doesn't confirm it, though, so he just hits him. He's dead.
Hey, rolling natural 20s against your own people, I'm totally okay with that.
As Ragaran just brings the great axe down on this Quillbore and digs him into the ground. Pulls it back out. Ah! Good of you to come when you did. Kind of stretches out a crick in his shoulder.
I shoulder my sword. Well met. We come from Razor Hill.
This has been happening frequently.
No! This was new, but we've seen them scouting out our farms the past couple of weeks, so we knew to keep an eye out for them, so they didn't catch us quite by surprise. But, no, they haven't attacked us like this before.
Which direction did they come from?
They came from the Warren to the south.
Yep. That sounds...
Yes, so we've seen tracks from others as well, coming from the same location.
My name is Ragaran. This is my grandmother, Tekla.
Garrick Cloudspeaker.
At this point, I've begun pulling all the useless metal stuff off of the Quillbores, and I am appropriately, because it was a group hunt, offering the wolves, because it's their land, the first portions.
Yeah, they go in on eating Quillbore.
Before, I begin.
Yeah.
Etiquette is very
Yes,
important
it is.
among wolves.
Right.
I don't know if
Did
you.
you
I
take
don't.
your-
I don't know if you actually got to the breastplate because the goblin's already been going.
Yeah, like this entire time the goblin's been like, pop that off, taking that, that's mine.
Well, that just saves me some time. Can't eat that.
Right.
So I'm guessing
So
the wolves
you
are going to take
lose.
care of the unconscious
There's
one?
more of them here, and they were better equipped. So you
The
lose-
unconscious one is not going to be unconscious for super long,
Yeah, no.
because I'm not going to make that distinction.
Or at the very least, he's going to hope that he's not going to be unconscious long.
So yeah, you.
They're squealing off to one side as they find out one of them's still alive.
Yeah, one of the wolves digs into them and he squeals as he goes back straight to death. So you find 8 breastplates, about 4 of which are operational. The rest are kind of rent and ruined.
Okay. But
Taking.
You find a whole bunch of scrap metal.
Yeah.
Because these breastplates won't fit a darn person in the horde.
Yeah, no, because Quillbores, they're
It's
squat and they're wide. It would fit a dwarf before it would fit anyone in the horde.
That's good thing we have a blacksmithy that can repurpose metal.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh no,
I'm seeing
it's
it going
still
for raw
useful scrap
materials.
metal.
Yeah.
I'm
Good
just
raw
saying,
materials.
it's probably not worth
No, it's not
$100
going
gold
to
a pop
I'm
like a
not worried what
breastplate
it's
is.
worth. I'm just
No.
taking everything that.
No, this is spare metal.
Actually, could I use just sparing a quick glance to it? Could I use it to fashion something better than what I'm currently wearing?
I mean, if you took like 2 or 3 of them together, you might be able to fashion something for yourself, but it wouldn't be on the quality of a breastplate.
Okay. I'm currently wearing hides. So
Yeah, I mean,
a breastplate would be an improvement.
Also, a goblin and his loot are not easily separated.
yeah. So you get 8 breastplates. Again, 8 short spears. Again, not super great quality, and about 20 javelins.
Okay.
And coins that they have on them, you find a grand total of 35. No, sorry, double that. 70 copper.
Okay.
So 7 silver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 10 copper for each of
So,
us. Plus 10 extra.
I would ask the farm owners if they need any of these things for defending themselves. The javelins.
What kind of terrible goblin are you? You're giving people stuff.
Well, I mean, it's their property and everything.
Not all goblins are as greedy
I don't want to leave
as
them.
I'm
No, no.
joking.
as Crag
I'm
Bolton.
joking.
Not
I
every
just want to
goblin
leave
is
them
crag.
defenseless.
Goodness.
The Grand Matron.
Thank goodness
speaks
that
up.
not every goblin is Crag.
No, I think we'll be able to handle ourselves just fine now that we've given them this warning. We'll
Yeah.
take what's left of the bodies and set up some warding totems for them.
Ooh, good idea.
I'll shake the rocks off of my sword. Put it away.
Yes?
Oh, no, sorry.
You said you noticed them scouting out your farm. How long has that been happening?
Past couple of weeks, we were curious as to whether they'd be brave enough to try anything, but as it turns out, they were.
Are any of the other farms nearby reporting the same that you know of?
I wouldn't know. We mostly keep to ourselves until we need to head into market. Might be worth... I'll tell you what, I will go around the other farms and ask around and see if anyone else is having this problem and report back to Razor Hill.
Yes. We should keep on our rounds. We have more farms to check in on. More land to cover.
Indeed.
Yep.
Have they been causing any damage we could help with, or?
Nah, I mean, unless you can calm down pigs, he says, looking over at the squealing pigs in the pen.
I make an 18 animal handling to whistle back for my
I don't know,
wolf.
is it all good with other animals?
Alright. Yeah, you call your wolf, it comes back.
Points for
Pointers.
pigs.
I look at the pigs.
Trying to
They're
calm them
freaking
down.
out.
Yeah, they're upset.
I'm going to go all alpha on them and get them to shut the heck up because they're fine.
Roll me animal handling.
Come back. Die.
There's a hole in the back of your tower.
No, it just helps if I drop it in the tower.
Yeah, he dropped it off the back of
Drop
the
it
tower.
behind the tower.
16.
Yeah, after a bit of posturing and growling, especially it helps that you have giant tusks, so it looks a little bit closer to they do. So you do a little bit of growling and a bit of grunting at them, and eventually they calm down because they're not injured. Not a single one of them got hurt. It was just big and noisy for a bit.
I will. I don't have the ability to heal, but I will offer the wolves that were defending, a affirmative sort of pat, saying, "Did good,
Yeah.
good wolves."
I can't help. Good talkie.
Yeah.
Orcs are
I'm
good
out
with
of mana,
wolves,
so
you're out of mana.
yeah.
Yeah.
You cast
Spells.
3 spells.
2 spells. I don't have much mana.
Two.
Nobody has much mana.
You get a D4 plus your spellcasting modifier. 4 plus your
Exactly.
spellcasting modifier.
4 plus spellcasting modifier. Yes.
What's your spellcasting modifier?
Plus 2.
So you
six.
should have 6 mana.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've
And
only
how much is it?
1 mana
spells.
per spell.
No.
For
second-
first level spells are
1 mana per spell.
Spells level times 2 minus 1.
spells level type.
Times 2 minus
Okay,
1.
so it's
1
Oh,
mana per
interesting.
spell for a
Minus
first
one.
level
We're
spell.
working on nothing.
I thought that started on 0th level, and the 0th
Zero,
level was
zero,
1
zero
mana.
levels are
Free.
for a number of castings up to your spellcasting modifier.
Yeah, this is
And then they start casting 1 mana.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So you can cast 6 spells, 6 first level spells.
Nice.
Yeah, and you can cast 2 cantrips for free, and then they start costing a mana.
Whereas I can cast 7 first level spells and 3 cantrips for free. Let's say I've got 5 mana left. I don't know what happened to you.
Cool. In that case, I'm healing everything that got wounded.
Yep. You heal, you heal, you heal, you
I mean, you might
heal.
want to save some of that if we get into another fight.
I mean, I'll also be using the. I also have a cure minor wounds that I'll be using as well.
Yes. Poke.
Well, plus 1. Right. Well then, let's be on our way. There may be more of these quill boars to fight.
And so you scout the rest of the evening. You don't find any more Quillmore attacks, but you do find more tracks, like they've been observing and scouting out some of these farms.
Do we find, are any of them coming from the Barrens?
No. It seems like most of them are coming from the Warrens to the south.
Okay. So,
so we can do.
as we circle back around, back to Razor Hill, that's what we will report to Garthok. Hey, found quill boars, killed quill boars. They're all coming from the Warrens.
All right. So yeah, you all make your way back to Razor Hill after doing a round at the farms. And he greets you as you come back. Well, you all look like you've had a day.
I'm totally
Yep.
fine.
Saw a few.
You're covered in blood and gore.
I'm not.
You turned one into mist. You're covered in blood and gore.
I wasn't directly involved in the front line.
Conservation
fight,
of
so-
momentum means that the blood and gore went that way.
I'm not just covered in blood and gore. I have blood and gore inside of me.
I didn't kill anything.
I punched a Quilbo.
But collectively, you've also been writing for about 6 hours.
Yeah.
So
We found an attack on one of the farms. 6 quillboars.
8.
8 quillboars?
8 Quilbos.
Oh really? Huh, they died so fast.
As Quilbos are wont to do. It would appear that
Putting in work.
it would appear that all of the Quilboars whose tracks and bodies we found were coming from the Warrens to the south. None from the Barrens.
well, that's at least some good news. Even if they're moving towards us, at least they're not the greater force. That's good. That said, we don't know exactly how many Quillboars live in that warren. It could be anywhere from dozens to hundreds to thousands.
Well, according to the farmers, they had been scouting out the areas for a while. They're going to check with other farms and see what everyone else has seen and report back to Razor Hill.
All right, I'll wait for that report as well.
And
But-
I'll give the name of the
Ragaran.
Ragaran.
Well, at the very least, you've done well to scout this out for me. You're welcome to take a rest for the evening. Get food, get drink, have some sleep. I might have something for you in the morning.
Very good. I'm actually going to go probably give a hand at the blacksmith. Because I haven't done much.
All right.
Are these javelins like a lot less helpful to him than the ones he has as far as?
I mean, they're
is the
still
quality-
mechanically javelins.
They're still, yeah,
But
they're-
they
Probably more likely to break.
yeah, they're more likely to shatter
Yeah.
when thrown.
So yeah.
They might deal their damage and then not be usable again.
Also, I can only hold so many javelins.
Right. Well, I was just
Yeah.
wondering. I just kind of.
I mean, if you got a quiver for them, you could carry more. But I don't think you're the kind of person to wear that.
No.
To wear a quiver of javelins.
You just kind of carry a
I mean, I've got like
Oh, no, I think you...
I've got a strap around my back, and there's just a whole bunch of sticks in it.
Okay.
You know, I think it would make sense.
It's
for you to
essentially a
have
quiver.
A quiver, yeah.
But
Because
it's
it's like you need that. That's not like a societal thing. That's I don't have enough hands to hold all these javelins.
but like I'm not going to carry backup. I'm not going to carry like a quiver for 30. I'm not carrying it for storage. It's like, what do I need to go hunt with?
yeah.
Out of fingers, don't need any more.
Yeah.
And as a troll, you've only got 4 fingers.
Yeah.
Actually, do trolls have 4 fingers, or they only have 3? Hang on.
I'm pretty sure they only have 3, or at least judging from the...
I'll look up a picture. Keep going.
Anyway,
They only have 3.
I'm gonna head back over to the
So you have 6 javelins.
cash these out. See if they
Alright.
want to do all this
For
fun.
the spears and javelins, there were 8 spears and like 20 javelins.
Yes.
So 28. You can get in bulk. They'll give you a little bit more than they did last time. So they'll give you. It was a gold piece for like 12 for 11 things last time. They'll give you 3 for this lot as well.
Okay. And then the breastplates, do they if they want?
Yeah. What's the standard breastplate price?
Oh.
Like 200, but they've got. And
Yeah,
there's
no.
also a table
Okay.
full
These
of
are-
raw materials that I'm going to consult real quick.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
Because that's.
It's basically just
Because
raw
each
iron.
breastplate
This-
is
this
30
is-
pounds of metal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
just raw iron at this point. Yeah.
So I will look that up while you.
Wait, 30 pounds?
Yeah, they're heavy. Breastplates are.
They're made of iron,
Metal
not
is
steel.
True.
And I would like to, like I said, I'm trying to work at the blacksmith and make money working at the blacksmith. So
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a blacksmithing check.
I did. It is 24.
Yeah, you managed to make a silver piece.
Like, I think there's a chart, but I don't know what it.
Yeah, that's judging by the week though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Gianna's gonna go try to find Koplok. Was that the name?
Kaplak. Yeah.
Koplok. See if he has a job for her.
Go ahead and roll me a search check.
Okay.
You gotta find him.
Yep.
He's not easy to find.
Yep. Strange. Oh, I don't have it.
Did you divvy up the copper, or are you keeping it all?
12.
You are
Okay,
not
so
able
far.
to locate this mysterious orc that contacted you.
Alright.
You suspect if he has a job for you, he'll find you.
Okay.
Let me figure this out.
She's just gonna wander around for a while.
Alright.
Ting. 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 Ting.
Alright, so
Ting.
the group of you spend an amount of time. Anyone doing anything in particular before you lay down to rest for the evening?
What time of day is it?
It's approaching sundown.
I'm going to. I'm gonna get a feel for the land. I'm just gonna, like we were writing about earlier, in the larger area, but I'm gonna get familiar with we were going fast. I'm gonna kind of go just far enough to see if there's where there's wildlife and get familiar with what sort of flora and fauna are about here. Get an idea of what's edible, what's not, general. What does it take to survive here?
And I will just be sort of chatting with the smithy while I'm working there, just seeing if there's anything new or important.
For all 8 of the breastplates, basically as raw iron. They will give you 100 gold pieces.
That's a chunk of change.
Oh, yeah, that's substantial.
Because,
Great.
oh no, sorry. Correction. I need to redo. Because I need to. I was working in gold instead of silver.
240 pounds. So yeah, you reduce by 10 to 10 gold.
Right.
Hang on. Because it's 30. Because it's 30 pounds.
Give me 10 for that.
So you got 240 pounds.
30 times 8 is 240. Divided by 2 is 120. Divided by 10 because I'm working in silver.
Yeah.
They'll give you 12 gold.
12, okay. Silver?
Yeah, 12 gold.
Oh,
Because the price for the
Right.
market value for iron is a silver piece a pound. So half of that, you'd be getting half silver.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to get a breastplate at some point.
You can. Scale mail is only 50 gold. And it
It's
gets your
true.
AC up by 1.
It's true. I only have 10 gold.
Yeah, well.
Because we didn't start with roll. We didn't roll money.
Yeah, no.
The thing. So.
If I want to convert my leather armor to studded leather, how much would it cost to get the raw materials to
do it?
put that together? Just,
Or could you keep back some of that metal that you had from the
Well,
breastplate?
but I'm not going to ship it out myself. I mean, I just got to
sure.
find.
I
I
could
got to
probably-
find the right stuff to work with.
To turn leather into leather.
Iron is not going
I
to
could
work as
do it,
well
I think.
as steel.
To make studded leather, what's the price difference between leather and studded leather?
Studded leather is 10
25.
gold. Studded leather is 25 gold.
25?
Yeah.
15 gold
15.
prices. It'd cost you probably about
7.5 gold.
about seven gold.
Seven
Seven gold, 5
Okay.
silver of materials.
Okay.
And then you need to either be skilled
Have to
enough
craft
or have to craft it yourself, which would be that would be
What kind of craft check?
leatherworking.
Yeah, I don't have leather working yet, but can I do? Let's see. Well, no.
Someone here has leatherworking.
Who has leather working?
You need to find me. I'm wandering around.
Sean has
the
leather working.
The one-armed leather worker.
The one-armed leather worker.
She will kill you with her one arm.
But as you're making a chunk of change off of iron, as you are all gathering to take some rest and preparing to meet the next day, that is where we will go ahead and end for the night.
All right, say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Taruga.
Meow.